Hi everybody, Renegade 67 and or 68 here with some more Let's Play stream Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works of the Blind variety. So last time, Shinji is a master. Believe it or not, Shinji's a master. Well, Shiro, do you believe it or not? I mean, he just used the word spell, so what are you gonna do, right? I glare at Shinji. What the?
ああ、そういうこと。お前がしらみつぶしにしてくれた結界はさ、僕が仕掛けた保険なんだぜ。
Game lagged a bit for me. Did my OBS lag? No, just the game. Weird. Yup, that's right. The boundary field that you thoroughly eliminated is a security measure I set up. Uh-huh, right. We thoroughly bungled it up. Because Rin before tried to minorly bungle it up, but you set some of it back up, so this time we majorly bungled it up. Gotcha.
それはあんな風に消されちゃ、こっちは怖くて学校に来れなくなるじゃないか。
Oh, you're lying, I understand. If you destroy it like that, I'll be so scared that I won't be able to come to school anymore. The boundary field you thoroughly eliminated is a security measure. It is not a security measure. I understand. That is a lie. You're trying to trick me into thinking that you are not a bad mage even though you are a mage. Oh, interesting. Okay, are you still going to try to get me to turn on Tosaka, even in this timeline? Interesting. What's your play here, Shinji? In the other timeline, it made more sense, I would argue, because, because you hadn't had a good chance to ambush us yet, so you were in a better opportunity. I mean, the last time you just tried to ambush us and just take us out. I mean, this timeline, last timeline, you didn't do that, but you would have if you could have, but you didn't have a chance to do it because we never fought in that timeline. So instead, you went for the setting us up against each other. This time, though, I think that's less likely to work, given that Shiro saw you around with the master, so I'm with the servant. Why am I mixing those up today? So I think you can put 2 and 3 together. Shiro, please be able to put 2 and 3 together. I know it's not 2 and 2, but it's still not that complicated. If you destroy it like that, I'll be so scared that I won't be able to come to school anymore. Then don't come to school. Sure, it's just for protection. That's definitely all that seal is. 100%. I see. This is how stupid I am. Yes! Hey! Good job, Shiro. No, it's okay, Shiro. Okay, at least you're recognizing that this is probably, the stupidest thing you've done in this timeline is not accept that, yeah, Shinji's probably a master. I knew about it when I saw Shinji in the woods, but I rejected the idea because I was unprepared for the truth. Yes! Yes, that is the thing. That was your whole shtick in Timeline 1. I guess in this timeline you were more, this one got to you more because of the soccer relation.
待てって。そう構えないでよ、エミヤ。うるさい遠坂もいなくなったし、男同士ゆっくり話し合おうじゃない
No, you don't like...
知っての通り、喧嘩は嫌いなんだよ。
You don't like fighting because that implies the other side has a fighting chance. Offense is the best defense. Well, in a way, I suppose. Deployment. Hold on, don't be on guard like that. Since that annoying Tosaka is gone, let's talk things over as men. As you know, I don't like fighting. By that he means he's fine torturing people, or, beating them up when they can't fight back. A fight implies that both sides have a chance of winning. You don't want to get in any confrontations that you have a chance of losing.
話し合う俺とやり合う気はないっていうのか
Talk things over? You don't want to fight me? I'm sure he does, but if he thinks that I'm gullible enough, which in Timeline 1 I might have been, to be turned against Rin with some prodding, there's definitely potential there, but Shinji's not... he's got some tacticalness to him, but he's too prideful. I don't know. In a way, he's prideful to ever fully go through with the idea of getting Shinji to turn against Rin and teaming up with Shinji because, he doesn't really like Shinji very much. He just wants to one-up. He doesn't like Shiro very much. Did I say Shinji? I don't know. Shinji doesn't like Shiro very much. He just wants to be able to one-up him. So even though there's definitely some tactical merit and potential in Timeline 1 to turn Shiro against Rin if Shinji prods and pokes carefully, Shinji never would have really wanted to. And in this timeline, I think Shiro's just smart enough to see through your bullshit, but...
そんなのあるもんか。
Of course not! Yeah, this was always a short-term distraction setup of an ambush thing, never a long-term, sure, we could cooperate.
見たところ、エミヤもマスターなんてものに無理やりさせられたんだろ？
I'm guessing you were forced to be this master thing as well, right?
僕もそれと同じでね。魔術師でもなければ戦う気もないっていうのにマスターにさせられたんだ。
Were you eavesdropping on us? It happened to me too. I was forced to be a master even though I'm not a magus, nor do I have a will to fight. Or is he just guessing? He could probably tell Rin was a magus based on his magical sensing abilities, but he didn't sense anything from me, so he's assuming that I'm similar to him. But I'm not actually completely similar to him, because he is a magus, sort of. He just has to cheat to be a magus. I mean, the only person who could social Shiro to turn against Rin, Kirei level social skills, yeah, fair. At first, when I was first running into, again though, Shinji in Timeline 1, based on the things he was saying, there's reason to believe that Shinji might have been that type. It's just later revelations were like, he's not that type. But, what defines a magus? Are you being technical when you say you're not a magus? Or are you trying to play it off like you're actually not like me? Because you did sort of kind of inherit it, just not really, right?
で、目下のところ誰とも戦わないで済む方法を探してる最中ってわけ。だからここでエミヤと争う気なんてないんだ。
I don't think he eavesdropped on me. I don't think Shinji is cautious enough to eavesdrop on me. I just think he knows Shiro's personality somewhat, at least theoretically, the idea that this is the kind of thing Shiro would want to do, and it is the kind of thing Shiro would want to do, but Shinji probably even wants to question that. Shinji's the kind of person that would be like, is this really what you want, Shiro? If it is, you'll fall for my trap, because you'd be the kind of person to be open to it. But you're not actually that kind of person, right? He's probably prodding me with this. I'm trying to find a way to get through this without fighting anybody, so that's why I have no intention of fighting you.
そうかよ。じゃああの結界はなんだ？あんなものを仕掛けておいて戦う気はないっていうのか？
I see. Then what's up with the boundary field? You're saying you don't want to fight even though you have such a thing set up? Now here's the thing though, should Shiro go along with this? Because Shinji's giving Shiro an in to not fight. If Shiro says yes to fighting, Shinji probably has a servant with him, where Shiro does not, which would be very bad for Shiro. Debatably, Shiro should maybe play dumb and say, oh yeah, I'll work with you long enough to get the heck away. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe if he understands Shitty and she is setting up for a trap, maybe that is the smarter thing to do, is to play dumb for a little bit, just to, before, get close enough to Tosaka. But he might also be avoiding that because he is slightly hoping Shinji is telling the truth, still lying to himself sort of thing. That still slight hope that maybe Shinji is somehow correct so that there doesn't have to be ugliness with Sakura, I suppose. Then what's up with that boundary field? You're saying you don't want to fight even though you have such a thing set up?
バカだな。あれは欲しいんだよ。学校には遠坂っていう根っからの魔術師がいるだろ？
Are you stupid? That's for my protection. There's a pure magus named Tosaka in this school. Yes, I know who Tosaka is.
あいつはマスター同士の戦いに躊躇なんてしない。となると、魔術師じゃないマスターとしては、防護策を持っておかないとやっていけないじゃないか。
Since I'm not a magus, I have to set up protection for myself. That's not a bad play. That's not a bad play, Shinji, I won't lie. If you weren't so, you probably could be a decent tactical fighter, because you have the tactics. You're just too much of a have to think of yourself as better than everything. Because you were paying attention, and you did make the ambush when you noticed us fighting, and you probably realized Tosaka started the fight. So you're playing on my insecurities and what actually happened there. And I think Timeline 1, Shiro sort of kind of fell for it. He just wasn't willing to go all the way, and Shinji wasn't willing to prod him enough to get him to potentially turn all the way. She won't hesitate to fight. Since I'm not a magus, I have to set up protection for myself.
あの結界はそれだけのものだよ。誰かに襲われない限り発動させることはない。
That boundary field is set up for that purpose alone. I won't activate it as long as I don't get attacked. It's not a bad line. There's not bad lines he's spewing. There's definitely potential merit to what he's saying, but how will Shiro interpret it? Shiro has always been very weird with Shinji, his friend. Oh yeah, very weird with his best friend, for sure. It feels like, you know, Shinji was being more of a dick to Shiro before, but now suddenly, oh yes, now that we know that we're both magic people, now I'll pretend like, yeah, remember, we're friends. Because being friends with you is like a good way to potentially trick you later. I feel like Shiro would be smart enough to realize that Shinji's normally like a dick, and this is not his normal dick persona, so he's clearly got an angle. Shinji's inferiority complex, that's the word I was looking for. That's a good one, yeah, that's definitely an Achilles heel for him. He's making sense. Yes, he is making sense. Don't fall for it. I don't know if Shinji's really a master or not, or how he became one. But I can trust his story. You can trust that his story is potentially true, but that doesn't mean, you know... Just because he has a convenient story that makes sense with the events that have happened so far. If Shinji says so, I should believe him. You should believe him for Sakura's sake. That's Sakura. If anything, Sakura right now is being your Achilles heel with not just, you know, bopping Shinji in the face. To be fair, though, again, without Saber around, you know, or Tosaka, maybe you should play along. As long as in your head you know that he's being a stupid. Because in your head right now, you're convincing yourself that he's not being a stupid. Before that, dash dash dash.
Shinji, 昨日女生徒を襲ったのはお前か?
Ah, okay. How's Shinji gonna respond to this? Shinji, are you the one that attacked the female student yesterday? I have to get this question answered. Yeah, this definitely feels like Timeline 1, trying to avoid the truth, but at least being more direct. He's being more self-aware about it, too. Oh, he admits it. Oh, that? I couldn't help it. Okay. What's your line here, Shinji? You're not just gonna deny it? If you deny it, then the idea is that there's a fourth master at this school, which is, you know, a lot. Shiro's thinking Shinji's returning to his old self when they were actually friends. Were they ever actually friends? I find that hard to believe. I don't know, like, show don't tell, that kind of thing. You say they're friends, give me an example of them being friends in-game is what I want, because as far as I've gotten, it just feels like they've always hated each other's guts from what I can tell. If they were ever friends, if they were ever real friends, and not just, you know, pretending for Sakura's sake or whatever, I'd like the game to make a clear implication, or some kind of, you know, scene of like, oh yeah, remember back in the day when we did this? That was fun. Or some acknowledgement that things have turned sour, which I don't think there is, but I couldn't help it. My servant's unmanageable, and she attacks people if I let her be. Ooh, that's a nice lie, I guess. It's a bit of a desperate lie. She attacks people if I let her be. That's very bad, then. Servants are supposed to be like their masters, but I believe Tosaka is the one who gave us that talk in Timeline 1. I don't think we've had that talk in Timeline 2.
僕はマスターに選ばれただけの人間だ。遠坂みたいな本業じゃないんだから、言いつけを聞かせることも大変なんだよ。
I'm just a normal person. I'm not like Tosaka, so it's hard for me to get her to obey me. This is fun, because we know Shinji's full of shit from the other timeline. Like, we have to know, so it's fun to see how Shiro reacts. It's a test of his smartness.
じゃあ、昨日の件はあくまで事故なんだな。お前のサーバントが勝手にやったことだと。
Then what happened yesterday is an accident? Your servant did it herself?
ああ、これからは気をつけるよ。僕も自分の住処で事件なんて起こしたくない。あいつには僕を守ることだけ徹底させるさ。
Yeah, I'll be careful from now on. I don't want anything happening here either. I'll make sure the only thing she does is protect me. The only thing she does is to protect me. Grammar?
それは本当だな、シンジ。
You swear that's true, Shinji? Oh boy.
ああ、嘘を言ってもしょうがないだろ。隠しておくこともできたのに、こうしてわざわざ告白してやったんだ。
Yeah, why would I lie? I could have kept it a secret, but I told you about it. There's definitely a reason for you to lie. Although, I think the better follow-up would be, why would I lie? You're without your servant right now. So, well, actually, no, that's right, he doesn't know. He doesn't necessarily know, right? Because he's all dumb and stuff, right? That's right, he just assumes that I have my servant with me too. So that's why he's playing nice. Right. Okay. Shinji playing into the Rin Tosaka idealizing picture? I think he's, if anything, playing more into the Shiro idealizing picture. I could have kept it a secret, but I told you about it. Right, Shinji could just attack us now. But he assumes that Saber is being kept invisible. At least that's, I think, that was the logic in Timeline 1. Was that Shiro thought, oh, Shinji could attack me. And he assumes that my servant's invisible. But the servant can't tell? Was that the logic, or was that just his logic and he was wrong? I don't know. I could have kept it a secret, but I told you about it.
エミヤ、僕のことを疑ってただろう。むやみに襲われたら、行き着くところまで行くしかなくなるからさ。先にこうやって正体を明かしたんだ。
That's a bad line, the idea that it's hard to keep her under control, because I'm right here now. And she wanted to finish me off earlier, and you pulled her back. And, you know, if she wants to fight a master, you know, and especially me, assuming she's here, maybe she's not, but assuming she'd be here, I mean, I guess your line would be that she's not here. If she was here, she'd probably try to attack me. And you're saying you just wanted to protect her. Well, she can't really do that if she's not here. But, in fact, her being here around you is the most dangerous thing of all if she really is prone to just attacking random people. You were getting suspicious of me, right? I'll have to fight back if you attack me, so I came out with it before that happened. How do you know I was getting suspicious of you? Did you realize that I saw you in the forest? You probably didn't. I mean, you came up and brought up the thing of spells to me. I feel like the reason you did that is because you're trying to get me to turn against, Rin, not necessarily that, you noticed that I spotted you or you spotted me. Maybe you did, but I don't think so. Ah.
僕は誰とも戦いたくはないからね。
I don't want to fight anybody. I can't trust everything he says. Good, Shiro. Good job. Good boy. Good boy not trusting. Not trusting is healthy. I mean, trusting is healthy too, but you know, a healthy amount of skepticism. But if Shinji really thinks so, everything would work out. It'd be nice.
わかった、信じる。お前が何もしないんなら、俺も手は出さない。それでいいんだな、シンジ。
Ooh. Alright, I'll believe you. If you're not gonna do anything, I won't do anything to you either. That's fine, right, Shinji? Responding this way is fine in this circumstance, because Saber is not with you, so you can't fight back anyways. You just gotta keep an eye on him.
いいね。エミヤにしては物分かりがいい。
Good, you're understanding for once. And you should also probably tell Rin. I guess you don't want to because Rin already attacked you. And so there's the idea in your head that she'll definitely attack Shinji. But, like, and you're still worried for Sakura's sake, so you might not tell Rin because of that. Debatable. You're understanding for once. Shiro's always understanding. You're the one who's the prick normally. You're the one who's out of character.
けどそれじゃあ困るんだ。こうやって話し合いに来たことをもう少し理解してくれないかな。
But that's not good enough. Can't you tell why I came here to talk? And now here's where the let's turn you against Rin talk comes in. But that doesn't really work when you've said you don't want to fight anyone, so why would you want to fight Rin? Oh, your excuse is going to be because she'll fight us, just how she attacked you. But that's, you know, that might be his line, but that's not going to work on this show, I don't think. Shinji holds out his hand. So that means...
僕に協力しないか、エミヤ。お前は知らないだろうけど、もともとマトウの家は 魔術師の家系なんだ。
Do you want to cooperate with me, Emiya? I'm sure you don't know, but the Matou family is a family of magi.
まあ父の代で魔道は耐えていたけど知識だけはまだ残っている。どうかな、素人のくせにマスターになった君にとっては頼りになる存在だろ。
Well, magic died out in my father's generation, but we still have the knowledge. How does it sound? I'll be helpful to an inexperienced master like you, right? Sure, if you weren't such a douchebag who actually hates my guts and is looking for the perfect opportunity to snipe me, yeah. Dash, dash, dash. Shiro might think Rin would outright kill Shinji, and that would mess with Sakura. I mean, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, telling Rin would be strategically correct, but after Rin just attacked him, I think I sort of have an idea of why Rin... I mean, I'm pretty sure I have the understanding of why Rin attacked him and how that would have all played out, and how she's not that bad, but Shiro doesn't necessarily have that understanding, especially of the timeline where Rin beats him and says, "Oh, in the past, we have history," or something. So... The Matou line is a family of magi? Tosaga didn't say such a thing. She probably felt that she had no need to because, as far as she was concerned, they weren't in the running. They didn't have an official heir, and she didn't want to get Sakura involved either, I would assume. No, she must have excluded him since magic died out in his father's generation, like he said. Hey, there you go, Shiro. You corrected yourself.
どう？遠坂に頼らなくても僕たちが手を組めば聖杯戦争ぐらい生き残れる。
So, what do you
こんなの
say?
考えるまでもないと思うけど。
We can survive through the Holy Grail War if we cooperate. You shouldn't even need to think about it. It's not a bad team-up idea, in theory, but Shinji, in practice, doesn't really want the team-up. This is very short-sighted to catch me in a trap. Dash, 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 dash. His hand is held out. Shinji's proposal isn't bad. It isn't. It makes sense and it's a viable option. Where's the but? But...
シンジ、お前がマスターだってことをさくらは知ってるのか？
Fair question, fair question. Shinji, does Sakura know that you're a master?
はあ？なんだ。本当に素人なんだな、エミヤ。
You really must be an amateur, Emiya.
いいかい？魔術師の家系は長男にしか秘技を伝えないんだ。長男以外の子供なんてただの予備に過ぎない。
What a rude word for it, spares. A family of magi only teaches its secrets to the eldest son. Other children are just spares. I think you mean eldest child. I mean, I think if she was born first, she would be taught instead. Debatable, I guess. I mean, if someone really wants to go down the sexism route. Not even about fighting or in this timeline, it's just living. Well, I mean, he says it's about living, but... He's likely going to angle towards the Rin angle at some point. That's likely the big plan that Shinji has right now, I would assume. You really must be an amateur, Emiya. Or maybe he's just an only child, so he never needed to learn this. Well, the whole only teaching the eldest person always seemed dumb to me. I mean, I brought this up in Timeline 1, but, like, what if you teach the eldest person, and then you die, and then the eldest son, like, dies really quickly or whatever? Again, though, it goes into the idea that, oh, magic is a curse. You don't want the responsibility. It's really weird and gross. You think it'd be, oh, you teach all your kids. The eldest kid, is the one who gets the thing. And I guess the only reason to avoid that, realistically, should be to avoid infighting of a younger kid trying to betray their eldest whoever. But also, if you have multiple kids and the eldest kid doesn't want to inherit the magic, because it is kind of shitty to possibly, but the younger kid does want to inherit the magic, you give them the choice. But yeah, the only realistic, I think, proper answer to why you would only tell the eldest is because the eldest is the only one who gets to inherit the crest or whatever, and so the younger kids would be screwed out of it or whatever. But still, magic should theoretically be fun, so the fact that you're not teaching them implies that, oh, there's no merit, and, you know, it's just the responsibility and dumbness and stuff, but... Other children are just spares.
そんなのに魔術を伝える意味はないし、手間も惜しいんだよ。
You're calling your sister a thing. It's meaningless to teach magic to such a thing, and it's a waste of time.
たくあんなとろい女に窓を伝えるもんか。
Why are you prodding me? Oh, it's because of your inferiority complex. It's because you know that me and Sakura have a weird relationship and you don't like it, so you're taking this opportunity to prod me. Even though it worsens your stance in our arrangement, you're still taking it because you have that, have to be better than me mentality, even though it's definitely a dumb thing to say to Shiro if you're trying to get him on your side. Geez, a slow woman like her wouldn't be able to use magic. She probably can use magic, and you probably don't know she can. There's definitely a plot twist in there, in some way. And I don't think you're privy to it.
マトウの秘技を継いだのは僕だけだ。
I'm the only one that inherited the secret. You know, if magic's so great, you think that they could work on magic to make a crest splitting, where potentially the crest can be inherited to multiple children. I mean, even still, it'd probably be a thing where if it goes to just one, it's stronger. I can see the logic behind why the crest splitting wouldn't work, but maybe, if it's tied to blood, which it should be, based on how they've talked about it, then I think there should be an argument to be made for how you can possibly do a crest splitting thingamajigger if you want to. That could still potentially create problems if giving it to just one person makes the crest stronger, and if there's a way to steal your siblings half of the crest, there could still be infighting, but I think less infighting than if it's like, oh, you can only give it to one, but they get all of the thing. You'd say if it was that easy, it'd be done, but there's so many scientific advancements that were like, a long time ago, they'd be like, in the 80s, there was some guy who's like, any scientific advancement that would have been made has been made already. That's not true. So I think it's certainly, as science advances, as the science of magic advances, I think it's something that could exist, even if it hasn't quite been perfected yet. I see. I think the problem is the magic system is too inherently fucked up mentally for everyone that nobody, really thinks about furthering it. If everyone's like Rin, they're just set in their ways of, oh, magic you have to inherit just for the war or something. But magic's really dumb and mundane and science is cooler. That nobody thinks of actually what furthering magic could be like? Potentially. That's really good. That's really good. Oh, it's really good that he's insulting. Oh, it's really good that Sakura doesn't know. I see. But he's kind of insulting Sakura, so. Maybe someone did manage it, but they're either unknown, keeping info secret, died. Yeah, it could be that they keep the secret to themselves because it's, they could, yeah, that's very true. That's very true. But, and I guess magical people are extremely, prideful. So maybe they wouldn't want to give away the secret. Unlike the scientific community that gives away the secret so they get paid a lot of money. They want to be the first one to give away the secret, as it were. They could have found it and hid it. That's why, the Magic Society needs a method of, magical scientific breakthroughs and get paid instead of everyone hides everything to themselves and, that they create magical world wars. That's really good. And then when aliens attack, what are the magical people going to do then when they're keeping all the secrets to themselves, huh? When the aliens attack, they won't be ready. Checkmate. Sakura shouldn't be involved in all this. I want her to be smiling happily all the time. Aw, that's nice of you, Shiro.
Shinji, お前が何もしないんなら、俺もお前には何もしない。それで文句はないだろう。
Shinji, if you won't do anything to me, I won't do anything to you. That's good enough, right?
そう。協力はできないってこと?
I see. So you won't cooperate with me? Yep, that was his real angle. No, I won't. There's no reason to. I mean, if you're saying you don't want to fight, then what would you want cooperation for? Wouldn't even need to hide it. Yay, magical world wars. Yeah. The Grail War is a magical world war on a small scale, I suppose. Although, there's supposedly multiple Grails in other parts of the world, so it's more of a Japanese magical war. It'd be in their crest, and you'd need the crest to copy the crest. I suppose, but you want to hide the knowledge, right? Because you want the pride of being the family that does it. But if you can't have the pride of being the family that does it if no one else knows who does it, I suppose someone might want to dissect you if they know that you have a weird fancy crest splitter. Rin's word in the prologue keeps popping on my head. If science is going towards the future, magic is going towards the past. Yeah. You won't cooperate with me. We don't need to, right? Exactly. If we're not going to fight, cooperation's meaningless. Non-aggression pact. Yes, the non-aggression treaty. Which Shinji will definitely be the first one to break because he's a little, he's a little shit. He might even break it right now by being like, if you're not with me, you're against me.
自分の身を守りたいだけなら聖杯戦争が終わるまで教会に保護してもらえばいい。それぐらいのことは知ってるんだろう。
Oh, Shinji's not gonna like that because, yeah, Shinji wants to always be one-upping Shiro, and he's gonna be like, are you kidding me? If you only want to protect yourself, have the church take care of you until the Holy Grail War ends. You know that, right? So, first of all, Shiro's implying that he knows something about the war that Shinji doesn't. In other words, Shiro's smarter than Shinji. And second of all, Shiro's not going to the church for protection, so he's implying that he can do this without getting protection from the church, but Shinji can't. And, I mean, Shiro's not really implying that. He's just, blunt honesty as he normally is. He could be having a little bit of a tinge of that, because Shinji was aggressive towards Sakura in his talk just now, but Shinji's gonna take it to the extreme in his mind for sure.
へえ、なんだよエニア。君、もしかしてこの殺し合いに勝とうだなんて思ってるの？
Oh, what is this? Are you trying to win this war? I have no intention of fighting. Well, I mean, Saber says that she wants to win and you want to win it for her, right? But I'll fight anyone that attacks me. And I can't just ignore people that'll bring disaster to this town. And also, you don't want to hide at the church because, at least internally, Kira's a little of a fuck, and you wouldn't want to protect yourself there. And...
殺し合いなんてするか。ただ俺は聖杯ってやつの正体を見極めなくちゃいけない。
Oh.
そのためには最後まで残るしかないだろう。
This feels new. I won't kill people, but I have to see what the Holy Grail really is. To do so, I have to survive until the end, right? You want to see what the Holy Grail really is. You kind of already did so in Timeline 1. But I guess the logic here is that Kirei already prodded you, saying that, oh, it was because of the war that the fire 10 years ago happened. So because of that, you're saying you want to know what it really is to get some kind of closure. I guess. You didn't really say that in Timeline 1, but I guess you weren't as clear about what the heck you were even doing in Timeline 1. You always struggle with the idea of, do I have a wish? Do I? In this one, you have a more clear, well, no, but I don't want a bad person to get a wish, and I want to find out what this Grail thing is that can grant such bad wishes. It's a very fair point. Also, surviving to the end is good, because it means you survived. And living means you survived. And surviving means you lived. And living is good. I turn my back to Shinji. He's not gonna like you getting the last word in.
そうかい。あくまで戦うつもりか。
I see. So you're gonna fight no matter what, huh? I mean, that's not exactly what I said, but sure.
まあ、僕には関係のないことだけど。それならさくらを巻き込むような真似はしないよな。
It has nothing to do with me, but you're not intending to involve Sakura in this, are you? Interesting why Shiro would bring Sakura up. Because I feel like my theories in Timeline 1 alluded to the idea that even though Shiro messes with Sakura big time, he thinks of her as, like, his. And he doesn't want anyone messing with his, like, Sakura play toy or whatever. And so in this weird way, he cares about her. So maybe this is, genuine in a gross way. Because it could just be prodding. But I'm not sure what it would be prodding, so I think it might just be some genuine grossness.
そんなの当たり前だ。お前こそさくらには隠し通すんだろうな。
There's no way I'll let her get involved. You're gonna hide this from her too, right?
もちろん。けど、兄貴としてさ、これから殺し合いを続けるってやつの家に 妹は置いておけない。
Of course, but as a brother, I can't let her stay at a house with a guy who's going to fight. Ah, you weren't supposed to know that. Weren't they lying and saying she was staying at Taiga's? Or maybe they weren't. I mean, you never even liked the idea of Sakura coming over, so I assumed they had to be lying. But he knows. And I think they implied in Timeline 1 that he kind of always knew anyways, and he was mad about it. Maybe he was waiting for the Grail War to make his chance for his revenge. That's debatable, though, because it said that, or at least he said he was forced into the Grail War to some extent. But maybe he was forced in advance, like, it was already decided, like, by Makiri or whatever their relation is there, that, oh, you're gonna be in the war. And so he was given time mentally, even though he was put into it without a proper thingamajigger, he still knew in advance. If he knew in advance, he'd be more willing to let the Sakura-Shiro interaction slide. If he's like, oh, when the war comes, then I'll be able to get all Matsabali. Maybe.
お前が戦うって言うんなら、聖杯戦争が終わるまで、さくらは家から出さない。それでいいよな、エミヤ。
I don't agree with that. In Timeline 1, Shiro was being more dumb and trying not to be aggressive, but I feel like Timeline 2, Shiro, please stand up to this notion. I know he doesn't want to fight about it, but you are already not trusting Shinji, right? If you're going to fight, I won't let Sakura out of my place until the whole Grail War ends. That's fine, right, Emiya? He's making good logic if he was theoretically not a terrible person, but he's a terrible person. Dash. Don't give in, Shiro. You heard him bad talking her earlier, right? He was calling her a thing, said, oh, such a woman would never be able to... Like, come on. Don't let him talk her down and then say, oh, I have to look out for her. Shinji does have a point. He does! Don't give in! He does have a point. Don't give in. As long as I'll be fighting, my house is in danger.
No!
No! What are you doing?
Shinji.
Ah! Are you just doing this for now because you know that Saber's not nearby, but you're lying? Please be lying. Because come on, Shiro. Alright, I'll tell Sakura. Is that good for you, Shinji? I mean, if he wants to fight you over Sakura being at your place, he should fight you. Don't give in.
Okay. 後輩思いの先輩で助かった。
Okay, I'm glad you're so caring. No, this is not okay. Sakura needs to keep staying at my place for protection. It's true, she is slightly in danger because I am a master and all that. However, a counterpoint, you're a little douchebag. And I don't want you anywhere near Sakura because I already know you're douchey towards her. So no thank you.
正直、お前がいつ桜を人質にするかヒヤヒヤしてたからね。いや、これで当面の悩み事は解消されたよ。
Bleh. To be honest, I was scared if you were gonna hold her hostage. Well, my problem is solved for now. In his mind, he probably thinks of this as a victory. He's winning one over on Shiro by reclaiming what's his from his den. And then he's gonna have a bunch more fun with her, I'm sure. Meanwhile, though, where's Mitsuzuri? Alright, she was found. What's up with Mitsuzuri? We need to see her again. Is she okay? Has she been mentally fucked? That's right. There's something going on with her, too. I thought that he overreacted and did something to Mitsuzuri because of Sakura, you know, being absent for a whole day. And Shinji being like, that's not okay. And now he's reclaiming her. But you've already done your thing to Mitsuzuri. You've had your Mitsuzuri and... fucked it too? What? That's all I have to say. I'm going home. Please say you're lying, Shiro. Please say you'll change your mind or something. You'll rethink it when you get away.
ああ、ご自由に。けど分かってるよな、意味や。ここで話したことは僕たちだけの秘密だぜ。こっちはエミヤを友人と見込んで秘密を打ち明けたんだ。
You don't want me telling Rin.
それを人に話すようなことになったら。
Go ahead.
僕だって何をするかわからない。
Oh, but you know that this is our secret, right? I came out with this secret since you're my friend. I don't know what I'll do if you go and tell somebody about this. Oh no, I couldn't ever deal with it. Sure. That must mean he'll activate the boundary field if I tell Tosaka about this. Sure, that'll be his way of protection, quote unquote. Cheese and crackers. Crackers and cheese.
ああ、黙ってる。けど、遠坂が自分で見つける分には別だぞ。俺は遠坂にできる限り協力する。
That's passive
あい
aggressive.
つがお前の正体を知ったら、戦うことを止めない。
Yeah, I won't tell anyone, but it's a different story if she finds out herself. I'm gonna help her as much as I can. I won't stop her from fighting you if she finds out about you. I think not telling Rin about Shinji is a fair enough argument that I'd be willing to concede, but I wouldn't be willing to concede giving Sakura over for the chance that Shinji's not a douchebag. I'd be like, look, if she wants to be, she already wanted to be staying at my place. And also Shiro already knows that Shinji's has a history of being a bit of a douchebag, and beating Sakura to some extent, right? Tell Rin they'll kill the school in Sakura. Well, yeah. So no, I wouldn't concede this. I wouldn't concede the Sakura point at all. Not given that even if I didn't know what I know, I, as Shiro, would know that Shinji's had a bad history with Sakura. I would not concede that point. I wouldn't feel comfortable with it. I mean, given the history, I would already be super skeptical, but I can understand because of the Sakura relation why he's wanting to hope it's true that Shinji's not, just a douche.
そういうわけだから、見つけられたくなかったらおとなしくしてるんだな。
So if you don't want to be found, you want to keep having your fun with your soccer plaything, don't do anything. Oh, he still got in the last word. I head to the gate for real. The school building is tinted by the setting sun. Please, Shiro, please don't tell Sakura to go home when you get home. Please say no. Did Shinji already have a confrontation with Sakura? Oh, no. Or are we going to have to do it? What's worse? If we have to do it, that'll break her heart. But if Shinji's already done it, he probably was forceful. Shinji sees me off without a word. I don't like this, Shiro. I don't like this. Status screen. Ooh. There are only 2 sets of shoes at the entrance. Status screen, oh boy. Were weapons updated? Nope. I just think Shiro's low self-esteem is fucking him. He doesn't think he can protect her. That's fair. I guess it's not a question of smarts. Shinji had a real point that Sakura's in danger as long as she's at his house, and he doesn't want her getting endangered. I think not only is she not any better off, but she's actually worse off being at Shinji's place. But yeah, the low self-esteem is still there. I won't deny that, but I really wouldn't have conceded that point, Shiro. I really wouldn't have conceded that point. Alright, so Rider, Master, Matou, Shinji. We don't have a picture, though. And we know it's Rider? Wait. We don't have a picture of them, even though we saw their picture? We don't have any of these. We just have the Master as Matou Shinji. But we saw what she looks like. But we know that she's Rider? I mean, I, Renegade, know that she's Rider because I've seen Timeline 1. But the game didn't really make it clear that she was Rider. It just feels inconsistent. It's kind of like how it's like, oh, it doesn't say that the true name is Herc, but then in details, nope. In Noble Phantasm, blessing, curse to the god, whatever. It makes it clear, sort of, because, yeah, the son of Zeus, it says somewhere. So, yeah, as the son of Zeus. Anyways, Shinji probably read about mutually assured destruction and went, wow, what a great idea. There are only 2 sets of shoes at the entrance. Oh, shit. Yours and Taiga's, not Taiga's and Sakura's? Is Sakura not here? But oh no, Sakura should be here. But oh no, where is the Sakura? Fujine's and Saber's. Oh, Saber's. Saber has shoes too. I guess that's a fair point that can be made about things. I'm worried, so I go to the living room without saying, I'm home! I forget how you say I'm home in Japanese. There's like a whole thing about saying I'm home, and then there's a respond with like, Okairi? Is Okairi... Hold on, wait. I gotta look this up because it's on my mind. English to Japanese. Is it Tadaima? I'm home. Is it Tadaima? Yeah, it's Tadaima. I was not wrong. Tadaima. And then welcome home. Yeah, Okairi Nasai. Ha! Yes, I did remember the Okairi. Okay. I remembered them loosely. I wasn't confident in my memory, but I did remember them. How about welcome back? Yeah, same thing, basically. Okairi Nasai. Actually, that one's using kanji, but this one isn't. Welcome home. Oh, it's the same thing, but for some reason they give kanji to one version, but not to the other. That's weird. What is this kanji? What is this kanji? Kai. Go to Jisho. Look up this kanji. What is this kanji? Kairu, to return, to come home. I understand. That's the returning kanji. And then there's also Kitaku, returning home. I see. There's Kaisu, to send someone home. I see. There's Kizoku, belonging, attribution, imputation, possession, jurisdiction. Oh, I understand. There's Kika, naturalization. What does that mean? What does that mean in English? Naturalization? Hold on, what is the naturalization definition in English? Naturalization definition. The admittance of a foreigner to the citizenship of a country. Ah, that makes sense. Cool. Kikoku, return to one's country. Kisei, homecoming. Spider-Man homecoming. Spider-Man Kisei. Okay, we're done. Alright. I'm worried, so I go to the living room without saying, Tadaima! I go through the hallway with quick steps. As I expected, Sakura's in the living room. Oh no, Shinji already had a talk with her. No! No, Sakura, are you out of the pathway again? No, I refuse! I refuse! I liked the chemistry! I want to see more! Moreover, there's a person that looks like Fujine doing something like cooking. That's not normal.
あ、おかえりしろ。ん？何驚いた顔しちゃって。
Oh, welcome home, Shiro. What's that surprised face? You're cooking. That's not a thing that you do. What is this madness?
なんかあったの？
Did something happen? She must have been mixing flour as she puts a bowl she's been mixing into the table. What are you playing at, Taiga? Who's morphed into you? You're a morphling. You're an imposter. You're a I don't remember what they're called. You're one of those things from the Marvel universe where they change into the appearance of the other people. You're one of them. I forget what they're called. I want to Google it. Hold on. Let me Google it. Marvel shape changing race name. What are they? What's they called? What is the name? That's Vision. What? Oh, well, true. He can do that, but that's not what I'm talking about. No, yes, these are the people. What are they called? That's the image. What is their name? Oh, it auto-corrected me to sheep changing. Shape changing. What are they called? Scrolls. That is the name. They are called Scrolls. Aha. I figured it out. I solved the universe. Anyways. F Sakura and Pathway. No, Sakura! No! Imposter? Among Us? Yeah.
ああ、いや、驚いてるって言えば驚いた。
I was talking about the Skrulls, not the Kree. The Kree are a thing, but I forget what the Kree... Wait, what's the... Hold on, what's the Kree? What are Kree? Now you've gotten me confused, because Kree was on my mind. And now I'm like, wait, what's Kree? Hold on, what's Kree? Marvel Kree? Is Kree a thing? What is Kree? Oh, wait. Are Skrulls Kree? No. No, the Kree are not... No, the Kree are the people that are the other people in the movie, but they're not the Skrulls. Skrulls on Kree Combat. Anyways, I am surprised. I've never played Among Us, but I've still watched every single, at this point, I believe so, unless I miss one. I think I've watched every single one of Toast's Among Us videos. I watch them a lot. I'm a deductive person. I enjoy deducing, you know, who the culprits are and stuff, and the benefit of not actually playing is I get time to pause and think instead of, you know, having to think on the fly. I like pausing and thinking, in case you guys hadn't noticed by my play style. Yeah, I know who the creep people were now. I looked it up. I remember. I am surprised.
いつもと何もかも違うから。
Everything's so different. Yeah, also, the room looks a different shading color. I guess this is meant to be more like before night, but after noon, afternoon, pre-evening lighting? Pre-evening. Everything's so different. Actually, I don't remember how many years it's been since I last started doing something like cooking. Okay, so I am right, it is strange.
いつもと違う？あ、そっか。さくらちゃんのことね。
Different? Oh, you must mean Sakura-chan. Mm-hmm, indeed.
さくらちゃんなら帰ったわよ。お家の人から電話があって呼び戻されちゃった。
Oh, she went home. Someone from her house called her and she had to go home. I mean, are their parents even around? Do they exist? Isn't like the father dead because he couldn't pass on his crest? I don't know what happened with the mother. I'm just assuming that they're dead. Everybody's parents is dead in this game. She had to go home. Oh no, it was Shinji, and now they're all gonna be all poop. They're not supposed to be poop. Who called and said that they could be poop? I did not agree to there being any poop involved, and it makes me upset.
そうか。シンジのやつ、直接電話してきたのか。
So Shinji must have called here. It's needless help, but I guess he wanted to take care of it as quickly as possible. I don't know what's fucking worse, me having to tell her to fuck off, or Shinji being like, yes, come back, my little prisoner. Come back into my cage. Either way, it's gross and I don't like it, but, you know.
シンジ君？まあいっか。
Shinji? Oh well. And that obviously makes a clear implication that Shinji knew that Sakura was here, so, you know. And all that. After tilting her head in question, Fujine goes back to the kitchen. It's just Fuji. I mean, I like Fuji, but I like Sakura. And we, you know, I get plenty of Fuji in the Tiger Dojo. I mean, I need to die more often. I've only had one so far this pathway, if I do say so myself. Oh, that's right. I'm pretty good at not dying sometimes. Yeah, okay. I'm a bit curious. You better be. What she's cooking or about Shinji calling? It's not completely dark yet, so oh. Cheese and crackers. Oh boy, curious. Haven't even read the choices. Alright, so what are we doing? I'll stop Fujine's wrongdoing before the sun sets. Oh, the cooking. I'll go see how Sakura's doing before the sun sets. Yes! Make sure that Shinji's not raping her. I'll go tell Saber that I'm home before the sun sets. Okay, this is no hesitation. I mean, I'll think for a bit about the practicality, but I know what I want to do. I'm following up on Sakura. I'll stop Fujine's wrongdoing. I get it. There's some Fujine shenanigans. Cooking is bad for her. And maybe we're going to have upset stomachs. Whatever. That's no big deal in the long run. I'll tell Saber that I'm home before the sun sets. Strategically, there's some merit to that. However, I like Sakura and don't trust her being with Shinji. When the Ren Alliance is formed, Sakura leaves. Yeah, it makes sense, but also I refuse. I'll go see how Sakura's doing to make sure she's not dead before the sun sets. If this starts a fight with Shinji, so be it. Fucking fight me, Shinji. I'll fight you for her. Talking to Saber is probably strategically smart, and if I could talk to Saber real quick, then go after Sakura, I would do that. But when they give me a choice that's like, pick one of these and don't do the other, I mean, this is the one I'm doing. Yeah. I'll go check on Sakura before the sun sets.
藤ね、ちょっと出てくる。 どんな風の吹き回しだか知らないけど、夕飯の準備任せた。
I'm gonna take a walk. I don't know what's up with you, but I'll leave dinner up to you. Good luck.
はーい、いってらっしゃい。夕ご飯は美味しいカニ玉だからね。
Alright, take care. Dinner's gonna be delicious. Delicious kanitama. You haven't cooked in forever. I guess Taiga's probably one of those people that has like one meal she can make and that's it. So as long as she rarely ever cooks, maybe it'll be okay. Or she thinks she can make it, or maybe it's good to her, but it's actually not good to anyone else, but at least she likes it. I don't know. Kanitama, huh? I don't think I know what kanitama is. Let's look it up. Death by Fuji food. That could be bad. What is kanitama? I don't think I've ever heard of that. It's probably a Japanese thing. What is kanitama? What is this? Kanitama don? Omelet. Tama! Right, because tama means egg. What is kani then? Crab? Is kani crab? Hold on. Japanese to English. So crab omelet? For dinner? Eggs for dinner. I'm down. Kanitama? Kanitama. Egg foo yang? No, not kanidama. Kanitama, you stupid. Kanitama. Kani. So kani is crab. And then tama. What about egg? Isn't egg also... Should be tama. Let me see here. Egg. Oh, it's tamago. I see. So kanitama is short form, but it is tamago. I wasn't crazy. I was like, it's not tama. It is tamago. Egg is tamago. Tama is short form. So kanitama. I've been, in the Digimon playing the card game, and they're called Digitama. Digimon eggs as they were. But they just say tama. I guess the, tamago is implied or whatever. They don't need to state it. Okay. Imagine this choice is a bad end and Ryder just kills us because Shinji views this as an act of aggression. Oh, I have totally mentally prepared for that. I could see it as being that. It would make me very sad, but I could see that being a thing. Strategically, we should talk to Saber first and get her to back us up and then see what's happening with Sakura. To going after Sakura alone, there's a real chance Shinji just fucking snipes us. And I'd be sad. It strategically would make sense. But, again, the game gave me a choice, a one or the other, and I know which one I would do if I can't do the other. So, if I die, I die. If it's a bad end, oh well. I guess even Fujine should be able to make that. Let's hope. I go up the hill tinted by the sun. Sunset is early during winter. I have to go to Sakura's house quickly and check up on her. Oh. I'm surprised we made contact. I was expecting Shinji to... honestly, to be honest, I was expecting fully for Shinji to intercept and kill us, because given that in Timeline 1, Sakura was just absent for almost the entire actual war, I honestly was kind of expecting, because there is strategical backfiring to not talking to Saber first, for this to just be another thing if Shinji cuts us off and kills us, because we can't ever run into Sakura again, because that's just what it's going to be for Timeline 2 as well, maybe, and because we have to see her in Timeline 3 because there's a plot twist with her, so we can't see her for a long time. That was in my head the idea. So the fact that we can see her, the fact that we can see her puts doubt into the idea that maybe she's done in the timeline. Maybe we still see her more in this timeline, which excites me. The fact that this is a thing we can do means maybe we can see her more in the timeline even if we didn't choose the choice. Hopefully. I'd like to think so. I like Sakura. Senpai, why are you here at this time?
いや、なんとなく近くまで寄ったから。
Oh, well, I was just close by, so I thought I'd drop in. That's a lie, but sure. What are you gonna think about it, Sakura? How are you gonna think when I just end up walking away after I make sure you're okay?
ついでですか？わかりました。
そういうことにしておきます。
You look pretty happy, Sakura. I mean, maybe you were really distraught before, but because I showed up, that makes you so happy because you were expecting that you weren't going to see me again. So you're being happy despite the situation you're in. Just close by, huh? Alright, I'll say that's the case. My bewilderment must have been funny as Sakura smiles. Surprised you feel so confident and not scared. Surprised you aren't scared that Shinji might not do some malarkey if he finds out that Shiro shows up. I guess your excitement of seeing Shiro overpowers that, but I feel there'd be some fear. It's a big smile and it doesn't look like Shinji's forcing her. I mean, I wouldn't expect her to be. If anything, I would just be surprised that she's not more scared. The fact that she's not more scared is a point in Shinji's favor from Shiro's perspective if Shiro's still trying to trust Shinji. I'm not. I'm just questioning, is it the plot twist? Is that why she's not scared? Or is it just a case of she likes Shiro more than she is afraid of Shinji right now? Maybe because of the interaction of extra time of staying over at Shiro's place and the saber and all that, she feels a bit closer. Maybe. And so her liking of him is now overpowering a bit of... Because she was willing to stay over at my place, which she was never willing to do before, maybe her confidence has gone up a bit. And shows she's less scared about this interaction because she was already stayed over once. I mean, yes, she was forced to come back, but she still managed to stay over for a bit. So maybe because her confidence is higher, she's less scared here. I could see that.
Sakura, 本当に要件はないんだけど、シンジはどうしてる?
Sakura, I really don't have any business here, but where's Shinji?
今家にいるのか?
Is he home right now? Is he doing master stuff?
兄さんですか? いえ、今日はまだ帰ってきてないみたいですけど。
Nissan? No, I don't think he's home yet. I wonder if he's already planning to attack the house. I don't think he'd attack the... Well, to be fair, Rin's not staying over in this timeline, that's right. In Timeline 1, Rin was staying over, so it would be dangerous to attack the house. Because, I'd have Rin on my side. But in this timeline, Rin is staying at her own place. We're allied, but we're not, staying together. So, there's a bigger chance... Oh, no. There's a bigger chance of while we're away, like, Shinji comes in and attacks Taiga. I don't know. In that case, debatably, this is the right choice. Because we're away from the house when Shinji attacks. Where with the others, maybe we'd be at the house. Saber's at the house, but,
帰ってない。じゃあ、誰がうちに電話したんだ? さくら、シンジに呼び戻されたんじゃないのか?
Cell phones, what are those? Do they exist in this game? Do they exist in this universe? I mean, this game is old, but it's not that old. I remember thinking it was super old in Timeline 1. But, and then I was corrected that it's like, oh, it's kind of old, but it's not that old. So, I don't know, maybe cell phones existed, or maybe they were just on the cusp. Very early cell phones, maybe people didn't have them much yet. I don't know. He's not home? Then who called my house? Weren't you told to come back here by Shinji?
さあ、私は藤村先生におじい様が待ってるからうちに帰りなさいって言われただけですから。
You're what? You're what? Excuse me? Huh? Fujimura-sensei only told me that I should go home since my grandfather's waiting. He wouldn't happen to be named Makiri, would he? Would he? Grandfather? Hold on, how did the interaction go earlier with Fujimura? You must mean Sakura-chan. She went home. I'm surprised. Welcome home, Shiro. What's with the pride face? Something happened? She must have been mixing flour. Everything's so different. Actually, I don't remember how many years it's been since I last saw her doing something like cooking. You must mean Sakura-chan. She went, okay. She went home and someone from her house called her and she had to go home. Grandfather? Would it be this grandfather that called her? Grandfather, is this on the mother's side or father's side? Because, like, if it's Shinji's father's father, they would know about the magic. Means they might be Makiri. Because, there's a decent chance. It means they might be mockery because, you know, if they're the father's father, then they're who the magic came from, essentially. But if they're the mother's father, then maybe not? I don't know, I guess it depends. Which side is your grandfather on? Someone from her house called her and she had to go home. I see, so Shinji must have called here. It's a needless help, but I guess, okay. Shinji-kun? Oh wow. Oh, I see, because Taiga, so the grandfather called, it was the grandfather that called, not Shinji, which either implies that, you know, they're working together, or the grandfather knew Sakura was here even though Shinji didn't know? I mean, Shinji did know, but, like, from Taiga's perspective, like, how did he know she was here? Yeah, he must have magic, unless he's on the mother's side. But yeah, like, that's the thing, though, because if he's the father's father, then he definitely has magic. If he's the mother's father, it's debatable. I mean, I don't know how that whole thing works, but Fujine goes back to the kitchen. I see. So Taiga knew what was up, but was like, whatever, because it was okay. So I see. So the grandfather called, Taiga picked up, and then Taiga said, "Oh, Sakura, you have to go home." Assuming she's not lying and there's some kind of plot twist. All right. Fujimura-sensei only told me that I should go home since my grandfather's waiting. Okay, what's going on with this? Is this Mr. Makiri finally coming out of hiding? He's the one that maybe set up Shinji to be in the war. Maybe Shinji's supposed to do this on his behalf, even though, you know, magic didn't properly pass on to the father or whatever. Or rather, the father, it died with the father because maybe it was weak. The grandfather might still, you know, be in this Grail war to win it, so he might be trying to use Shinji to do it. Quite possibly. I see. But it is true that Shinji hasn't done anything to Sakura. It feels like this was coordinated if the grandfather's in on it. We never ran into him in Timeline 1, for one thing. And this definitely feels coordinated that Shinji's like, "Oh yes, I want her to start staying at my place." And then the grandfather calls here and says, "Yes, we want her to come home," or whatever. That definitely feels coordinated, so it definitely feels like this is Makiri, and Makiri's in on Shinji, in on it to some extent. But yet we never saw him in Timeline 1, which means he probably was using, he might be kind of a dick then. Given that Shinji himself is a dick, it wouldn't be surprising, but he might have just been using Shinji as more of a tool. He probably still would have been upset when Shinji lost, but he didn't act out in any way that we're aware of in Timeline 1 after the fact. And Sakura ended up coming back and, you know, living out life just fine afterwards. He could have been grieving, I suppose, and we just never saw it off screen. To be fair, we never saw Sakura's reaction really either. We did see Sakura in the end, and we were told she was a bit sad, but then got over it because of her friendship with Ilya or something stupid like that, even though Ilya's the one who killed Shinji. But, it's not a big leap to assume that the grandfather of a dick is also a dick, but, it could be a subversion for sure. Shinji's her brother after all. Yeah, so what? He's done dick things to her, and you know he has. Don't pretend he hasn't. He would never involve such a good sister in this battle between the masters. I don't agree with that. And there's one thing I have to tell her so I don't involve her in this mess. What do you have to tell her?
安心した。それでさくら、しばらくの間だけど、手伝いは遠慮してもらえないか。
手伝いには行けそうにないんです。
Now you make out. Good. Sakura, senpai, can you stop? It's a bit sudden coming, but I don't think to help for a while. I can go help you for a while. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. I like that a lot. That's really cute. If Gramps cared, Ilya might have died after the war. Assuming that Gramps knew about Ilya being the one, Though he probably would have, but yeah. It depends. Can you stop coming to help for a while? No, senpai, it's a bit sudden. I don't think... Okay, so that's bad. That's bad. So, now that the grandpa is in on this, it's not just Shinji. We have a parental figure of some kind. Even if it's not a direct parent, we have a grandfather. And if we have a grandfather, then this could be an issue. That could potentially be striking even more confidence issues. Maybe. So Sakura would have left anyway then today? Is this related to the plot twist? Is the grandfather... Well, I don't know. We already knew Makiri was related in some way to Shinji. Does that mean there's a Makiri plot twist related with Sakura too, or is her plot twist separate? I don't know if Sakura would have left anyways then today. That's so much of a coincidence. That's possible, but I feel like it's coordinated. I feel like Shinji, or rather, I feel like the grandfather is just in on it, to be honest. Or the grandfather set it up and told Shinji to do this. Maybe the grandfather is the one giving the tactics. Shinji's actually kind of stupid, and it's hard for him to properly go through with the tactics because, you know, he's got his inferiority complex. So maybe any of the smart tactics could potentially be coming from the grandfather, and whenever he does stupid things, that's his stupid true self coming through. It's possible. That's cute. Dash, dash. We look at each other dumbfounded. Uh-huh. Yeah, because Shiro had a talk with Shinji, and I guess Sakura had a talk with her grandfather. But, no, Sakura, please, come back over. I'll fight the grandfather, too, if I have to. I don't know how strong he is. How old is he? You guys aren't that old, so depending on when the parents got busy, at youngest, he might be, I don't know, like 60? He could be in his 50s, at the very youngest. But, like, if he's 60, he might be... I mean, it's possible for you to be a spry 60-year-old. If he's more like 70, I could probably kick his ass, right? I mean, depends on how strong he is with magic. His physical health might not be as important. We stare at each other for about 10 seconds. Given that this guy got a name drop prematurely in last timeline, I'm assuming at this point that Makiri is the grandfather. Could be proven wrong, but it seems like a likely assumption. Assuming that's true, he got a name drop in a timeline he didn't even show up in. I think he's going to be a big deal, and maybe even, like, final boss material, because, again, we had Kirei and Gilgamesh as the final boss in Timeline 1. I don't think they're going to double dip and do that again. Makiri is a possible next final boss, maybe. If there's a Sakura timeline, I guess there would be some sense to him being a Sakura timeline final boss. But then who would the Rin final boss be? Because, I mean, there's also the argument that maybe the Grail itself could be the final boss somehow, which means Makiri would be Timeline 2 final boss. Because that's the thing, is that we know that, I know that Rin has, gonna have to have some kind of chemistry with Kirei, because we know Kirei killed Rin's papa. But I don't think he could be the final boss again, so where's that going? Is it gonna be a dark thing where me and Rin end up fighting in the end? I think Makiri will play some way into the big finals to an extent, but, At this point of the story, I'm assuming Gramps is like Kirei tier of power. I mean, I think that's a fair assumption given how they've built him up, so he's definitely final boss material, but how would he, you know, play in the order of, you know, final bosses? We stare at each other for about 10 seconds. And the thing is, if Kirei's not going to be final boss again, how does he get taken out in Timeline 2 and 3, in theory, if he's not final boss again? In Timeline 2, maybe we take him out in the midway point, maybe we have the Rin father angst drama gets found out, maybe in the 2/3-ish mark, and we take out Kirei early on? What about Gilgamesh? Does Makiri find out somehow and, take out another bad guy if he's going to be final boss material? It's just interesting, because if there is going to be a new final boss, who takes out the old final boss? They were final boss for a reason. They're kind of tough, right? So, we stare at each other for about 10 seconds.
ちょっと残念ですけど、先輩からそう言ってもらえて助かりました。 しばらくはうちにいて、夜は出歩くなって言われているんです。
It's a bit disappointing, but it relieves me to hear that from you. I was told to stay at the house and not go anywhere during the night for a while. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I mean, at least we're on the same page. If anything, I mean, yeah, I wanted to make sure you're safe, and you're safe, but I don't know, does knowing that the grandfather is involved make it better? Maybe. Does the grandfather know about Shinji's abuse? Or maybe it's not even Shinji's abuse. Maybe the grandfather just abuses them both. That's not impossible. But if the grandfather is abusing her as well, I mean, I feel like Shinji... I don't know. Because the implication so far has been that Shinji did it, and I don't think Shinji's even denied it. Has he not denied it because he knows the grandfather won't be okay? Does that make him a little better? Maybe the grandfather's the real dick? It's possible. Maybe Gramps has popped into action, takes out Kira in one of the timelines. Yeah, it's very possible, but...
そうだよな。最近物騒だし、もっと早くにそうするべきだった。
Yeah, you're right. It's getting dangerous recently. So we should have done so earlier. I would have objected to this from the start, but, I don't know, I guess the grandfather makes things a little more complicated.
はい。しばらく先輩のお家に行くのは遠慮します。
Yes, I won't be able to go to your house for a while. I hope we still get to see her again in this timeline, but it's very possible we just don't. That would make me sad.
張り合いがなくなっちゃいますけど、我慢すればすぐ元通りですから。それまで、できれば弓道部の方に顔を出してくださいね。
Oh, that's right. I might still get to see you if I go to the archery club. True. Well, I have, been coming a bit more to it this time, so maybe. I won't be able to go to your house for a while. It's disappointing, but it'll all go back to normal if I endure it for just a short while. Please come see me at the archery club until then, senpai. So what are you alluding to? Are you alluding to knowing the plot twist that it'll be over because of the Grail War will be over soon? Or are you alluding to the idea that, there's a curfew because there's like a murderer around or gas leaks or there's problems with that kind of stuff? And so you want to... Is that the theory that you want to stay close by for the time being because of that nonsense? Which, there's merit to that nonsense, but it's nonsense. Sakura bows and goes back into her house. Oh boy. Is it not a bad ending? That's a good sign. It means we might see Sakura more in the timeline at least. I managed to make it back before dinner. Well, not a bad ending, and we still got to see Sakura. I call that a half win. We didn't get to convince her to, not stay at her place, but we learned information. We learned information for sure. We've got the grandfather name drop. They're definitely building him up over a long time. Are we going to see him in this timeline? Or are they saving the big juicy stuff with him for the third timeline, I wonder? Hypothetical timeline where we just refuse to let Sakura go. I assume Gramps comes and kills us? It depends on how dangerous and how active he is. It also depends if he's the one making the calls or if he's just helping out his grandson, as it were. Given how they've built him up, I assume he's the one making the calls. But, I managed to make it back before dinner. Makes me wonder. So, one theory, I think I mentioned this before, the idea that if Sakura's a plot twist, maybe she's a tragic plot twist. Because I think she genuinely cares for Shiro. So then maybe the idea is, if I'm just allowed to, elaborate about my ideas for a little bit, maybe it's possible they build up Makiri, he becomes the final boss of this timeline, and then maybe, there's a plot twist with Sakura where she's actually secretly super powerful, but it's tragic, and she beats Makiri in that timeline, but she becomes the final boss even though she doesn't want to be. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's right, Fuji cooking. Oh no. How's Saber gonna feel? I hope Saber doesn't get too distraught by the Fuji cooking. I managed to make it back before dinner. The idea of Makiri as a final boss for a Rin timeline, if there is a Sakura timeline, seems weird. It's just because I know, or at least I'd assume, they can't double dip on Kirei, even though he would make sense as the Rin timeline boss, but I know they can't do that. So, I don't know. I mean, they could do it, but it would be lazy. I managed to make it back before dinner. An angry swordsman awaited me at the entrance. Yep. And I told her what happened today, about how we eliminated the Battlefield at school and how Tosaka is expecting a counterattack tomorrow. Did you mention Shinji at all? I don't tell her about Shinji. No, you're trying to be nice and not make things icky. That's fair, but they're gonna get icky. I don't want her to consider him as an enemy until I figure out his true intentions. You could just trust her and be like, I don't know, I guess last time in Timeline 1 you trusted her. And she's like, well then let's fight somebody. He did not bring up the temple this time. Last time you were like, oh hey Shinji, let's be friends. And Shinji's like, you know, there's a temple and the temple's doing shenanigans. Maybe you should look into it. Does that mean the temple isn't doing shenanigans this time? It probably still is, I would assume. In which case, maybe the reason he didn't bother tell us be either Shinji realizes that we're not as gullible this time and that we wouldn't be tricked, or he realizes that Rin's not with us, so there's not as much of a point if he can't catch us all in that net. Maybe. Possibly. But yeah, the whole I don't want to see him as an enemy until I figure out his true intentions. I feel like you could have some trust. You could trust in Saber to an extent. It's debatable if maybe you can't, maybe she just turned her back on you because she did, you know, kind of betray you a little bit in Timeline 1 when she went off on her own because she was, you know, horny for battle. But I think I would want to trust my servant. I would be like, okay, look, Saber, Shinji's a master, but I don't know if we need to fight him yet. He might be kind of a cool bro. If he's a cool bro, we can wait and fight him later. I'll figure out if he's not a cool bro, we'll fight him now. And, you know, just trust in Saber to trust in me. I would hope so. But maybe in the Sakura timeline, Sakura kills Gramps and he's proud because she succeeded him. Oh, yeah, there's definitely a cliche there, for sure. Yes, when you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you could ever imagine.
話は分かりました。では、夕食にしましょうか、シロ。先ほどからタイガが食事の支度をして待っています。
Oh, you're not complaining. I'd expect you to complain like you're home late. I understand. Though, let's eat, Shiro. Taiga has made dinner and has been waiting. Is it edible? She must be hungry as Saber quickly makes her way to the living room.
そっか。藤姉の料理なんてガキの頃以来だな。
I see. I haven't eaten anything she's made since we were kids. Are you actually exciting? I guess you would be if, you know. Did you enjoy it back in the day? Can she actually make decent food she just doesn't like to because she's lazy? And decide to this time because she had to last minute because you weren't coming home anytime soon and Sakura was gone? I'm half scared and half looking forward to it. Is it kawaii or kawaii? Man. Who could have imagined that it was going to turn into such a disaster? Which part? Oh, Taiga's food? It's time for dinner. No, meta talking. It's okay to get Saber to trust you in this timeline, because Rin's gonna be the one having interludes, so Saber won't go off on her own in this timeline. Gotcha, checkmate. It's time for dinner. Fujine's special Kanitama bowl is ready on the table. It's a simple dish where there's rice in the bowl and Kanitama put on top of it. Why is it not just called crab eggs, egg crabs? I guess it's like a Japanese word, but like, why not use the English word? Is there something special about it that's different from like, maybe because English doesn't normally do crab omelets? Do they? Hold on. I mean, I'm not too versed in the ways of the egg culinary arts. Are crab omelets a thing? Crab eggs. Crab scrambled eggs. Crab eggs Benedict. Crab meat scramble. Crab omelet? So yes, crab eggs definitely are still a thing. Crab omelet with avocado and herbs. Crab omelet. Crab omelet. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's not. Maybe we got it from there, but it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. Brr. It's a simple dish where there's rice in the bowl and Kanitama put on top of it. It looks like there's a yellow lid on the bowl and it honestly doesn't look good. Oh boy. Don't be rude, Shiro. But it should make the rice taste better since it's in a bowl. It's like katsu bowl and teriyaki bowl. Oh, I know teriyaki. What's katsu? Katsu bowl? What is katsu bowl? I know teriyaki is a word that exists in English as well, which I think is unknown from Japanese, which is, you know, a rare turnaround. But what about katsu bowl? Katsu bowl. What is that? Chicken katsu. Oh, it's still a chicken, like chicken teriyaki, chicken katsu. What's katsu? Cutlet. Oh, okay. Cool. I see from the images the little strips. Okay. Cool. It's like katsu bowl and teriyaki bowl. There's no way it can taste bad because the good taste of the ingredients sleep into the rice. But Taiga will find a way to fuck it up. Oh yeah, you can count on that. The only drawback is that the taste is simple, but that's a small price to pay.
じゃ、いただきます。
He said ja itadakimasu subtitles, and you just put itadakimasu? Lazy. No, I believe actually the text was put first, and the voices came later, I think, if memory serves. Anyways, itadakimasu. But I would assume these are the English translations of the Japanese. So, did they say ja itadakimasu in the Japanese version, or in the Japanese version, do they also just say itadakimasu? In which case, is it the translation problem that was made more worse because of the voices being added? Or was it just the voices all along?
Hi, itadakimasu.
What she said.
いただきます。
Everybody itadakimasu. Oh, they're building up to do it instead of all doing it at once, which means it's going to be bad, of course. We bow and dig into our food. Then, the food isn't soft like kanitama. No, it feels strange like I'm eating a main dish. Let me guess. Wait, the plot twist. Of course Taiga doesn't normally cook. Is this a prank? Is Taiga pranking us? Voice came later, but this is a new translation. Oh, it's a new translation based on the voices, so it's still wrong. All right, I win. What, is Taiga disliking her own food? No way! The Taiga comedy. Oh, the red apron outline. The blue and white make her look like she's like a convict.
事件発生。カニ玉丼が別の料理になってるよ。
Is this a bad dream? Am I dreaming? Am I dead? Did I eat the food and start dreaming a Taiga dojo? We have an emergency. The Kanitama turned into something else. Ellipses. What happened? This isn't an emergency or anything. This is more like an okonomiyaki bowl. Okonomiyaki. Okay, let me Google what that is now. What is okonomiyaki? Okonomiyaki bowl. Vegan okonomiyaki recipe. Japanese okonomiyaki. What is okonomiyaki? Because it doesn't seem like a type of chicken. Jap to English. I'm saying Jap because I'm searching Jap to be fast in the search bar. I'm not trying to be offensive. I believe that can be offensive. I don't know. Let's see here. I've already forgotten how you spell it. What's it spelled as? Okonomiyaki. 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 What? Japanese okonomiyaki is English okonomiyaki? Excuse me? What does it mean, though? What does it mean? Hold on. Copy? Let me put this in G-Show. Google Translate's not helping. Help me, G-Show. Save me. What does this mean? Okonomiyaki. Savory pancake containing meat or seafood and vegetables. It's a pancake. Oh, so instead of being a crab egg thingamajigger, it's a crab egg pancake. That sounds like it could be fun. I like pancakes. They're one of my favorite breakfast foods. If, I subscribe to breakfast, which, I subscribe to eating whenever, but, I'll have some good pancakes for dinner, sure.
なんでこうなっちゃったの？私ちゃんと聞いた通り作ったよ。
Who told you? Was someone screwing with you? Hey, how did this happen? I made it just like I was told. Learning food with Renegade. Yeah.
もしかして藤姉にこれ教えたの藤村組の若衆さん？
That's literally how the dish is called, okonomiyaki. Oh, I've not heard of it, to be honest. If that is an English word used for the dish, I've not heard it. It's clearly on loan from Japanese, but I guess it's a fairly new-ish loanword, or not where I'm from. Because, like, I've heard of things like teriyaki. I know that's an English loanword from Japanese, but okonomiyaki I have not heard. Imagine needing to eat food, yeah. On diets, I don't diet. I just exercise, so I don't need to diet. Ugh. Did the people at the Fujimura family teach you how to make this?
大きな卵焼き作るって言ったら小麦粉とかいろいろくれたの。
Oh, I see. I told them I was making an omelet, so they gave me flour and other stuff. Oh, you planned to make this? Were you planning to make... Oh, I see. You were going to make this even for soccer and stuff, too. So soccer leaving wasn't necessarily part of it. Aw, that's cute that you were going to make a food. Maybe try to impress Saber. Hides your fried onion rings. Oh. Making a big omelet, so they gave me flour and other stuff. That sounds, yeah, pancake-ish. With the flour and stuff. You don't normally need flour for a crab or eggs, I don't think. Ellipses. I wanted her to realize the mistake right then. I thought that being able to make an omelet was a function every human being was born with. That is not true. There are a couple basic steps you have to learn, but flour is definitely not part of the equation. Kanitami is just a variant of an omelet. It was my mistake to assume that Fujine couldn't mess up something like that. That's right, Fujine can't even cook an omelet. Yes, so what is it, Saber? I'm sorry. I mean, pancakes are good too, though, right? Even if it's not an omelet, pancakes are good too. Then, I hear a voice filled with disappointment. Yeah, because she likes Shiro's food. Granted, she hasn't had much of my food, but she's probably had a little bit at this point, right? So, she knows what the good food tastes like.
Saber.
I'm so sorry, Saber. I didn't know that she was so bad. I mean, I did, but I didn't know she was this bad. I slowly turned to her. Oh, she's shaking. Shiro, this is hard to eat even for me. Oh no, Saber. Even Saber's having trouble eating, and she's such a big eater. Saber, you must get your energy. Eat for the energy. You must eat for the energy? For the energy. For the energy. Energy. Okay, so, at this point, while everyone's being all like, I like food! Why is the food bad? We're gonna go ahead and take a little breaky wiki. Shiro, this is hard to eat even for me. Yabe. Crap. It's hard to tell, but it seems Saber's mad. Is it hard to tell? I think it's pretty easy to tell. Oh, we ended right at the end of that scene. For a second, I thought we were at a Taiga dojo. I mean, the hellish dinner ends and it's time for a strategy meeting. Yes, strategy, something you never did in Timeline 1. Thank you. Even when Rin was involved, you were just practicing and never strategizing. Yes, you did. You strategized once. You strategized at the end of the timeline with your stupid line about, at the end it makes sense we should do the one thing we always did, strategize. And I'm like, no, you never did that. What the fuck? Anyways, they're actually doing it. But I've already reported to Saber about what happened today. Since it's likely that there'll be a fight tomorrow, we should be preparing. Are you admitting that it's likely there'll be a fight with Shinji tomorrow? Yeah, you should be preparing in that case. Because who else would you fight? I mean, you're not going to be fighting Rin. And you don't really know of any other masters, so... I mean, you know of Ilya, but you have no idea where she fucking is. So, are you admitting that there's likely going to be a fight with Shinji tomorrow? Then we will not be going out tonight?
なあ、セイバーには歯がゆいだろうけど、今はそれで我慢してくれ。むやみに戦う気はないし、何よりめったやたらに戦えるほど余裕がある状況じゃないだろう。
It might be vexing for you, but sit tight for tonight. I don't intend to fight needless battles, and also we're not in a condition to be fighting freely. I mean, there's like, you know, a debate to be made that now that Rin's our ally, we could be like, hey, can you give me and Saber that dragon sex so we can be connected? Granted, Rin's in more of a position to not want to do that because they're still kind of sort of enemies, and she's still kind of sort of in the fight, unlike last time when she was like fully out of the fight, basically at that point, more or less. I'm inexperienced as a master, and Saber has a limit to how many times she can fight since I'm not giving her any magical energy. We can't be leisurely looking for masters in our situation. I mean, you found one, you found Shinji, you know about Ilya, you know about Ren, you have 3 left to find. 2 of them we never found in the first timeline. Bonus! And the other one was Kirei, so I mean, you know, there's not much you can do beyond, you know, getting some new, as it were.
わかりました。確かにシローの言い分には一理あります。積極的ではありませんが、勝利するためには細心の注意も必要ですから。
I understand. You certainly do have a point. It is not proactive, but we do need the utmost care for victory. Uh-huh.
ですが、戦う意志があるというのなら、無駄な時間は使えません。
Oh.
今夜はここに留まるというのであらば、
Are we gonna end up
その時間を鍛錬に使うべき
sword
です。
practicing anyway? But if you have a will to fight, we cannot spend time leisurely. I mean, last time she was more, you know, I want to say hormonal, but I mean, that's kind of true, right? Because Shiro was being more hormonal about it, it was getting to her in a bit of a way. So she ended up responding and got more antsy because of it. And so she was less, you know, down to earth in our, you know, she was more like, I gotta fight to get my mind off the fact that Shiro wants to bone me. And I kind of want to bone him. To be fair, though, also, I didn't tell her about Shinji. And I didn't, you know, Shinji didn't tell me about another, you know, temple thing for me to tell her. So she has no one to run off and fight anyways. I guess she could run off and fight Ren, to be fair, but, yeah. If you have a will to fight, we cannot spend time leisurely. We are to stay here tonight, so we should use this time to train. I mean, isn't the whole point of not going out that you have more time to rest? I mean, if we're training, I could train, but wouldn't it be better for you to just rest? More reasonable Saber, yes. More reasonable Shiro, which leads to a more reasonable Saber. Success. She still might have her dumb wish, though. We sort of prodded her about that a little bit, if memory serves, but we haven't fully cracked the case, I think. We should use this time to train. Yeah, that's right, because Archer was like, your servant will also want the same bullshit that I want. And then we talked to Saber, and she's like, oh, it's kind of private, but no, I definitely have a wish. So we prodded it a little bit, but we still have to crack that a little bit more. We should use this time to train. Saber stares at me. Okay, so what'll I do to train? How are we going to train? Am I going to train with my bow and arrow, or are you going to hit me with your sword? What's the deal? She doesn't even need to tell me. I brought Saber to this dojo with that in mind. Okay. Question mark, exclamation point. Oh, did you? Oh. Are you going to do the same training you did last time? I mean, hopefully you do smarter training. Train smarter, not harder.
わかってる。セイバー、昨日のこと覚えてるか？
I know. Do you remember what happened last night? Do I? I don't know. Tell me what happened last night and I'll say if I remember, because, you know, it's been a hot minute.
俺が夜遅く帰ってきたら、たるんでるってことで手
Oh,
合
I
わせ
see.
しただろ？
That happened off screen, but yes, I remember that. We trained a bit since you told me I was slacking off for coming home late last night. Oh, so you're going to do more of that and you're just going to end up rerouting yourself to still doing the training you ended up doing last time? Just to strengthen your body? That's not terrible, but I mean, wouldn't it be time better spent, you know, on your archery? Or are you going to realize that maybe you're going to start doing the sword and you're like, no, I need the bow. Or I need both. I need to shoot swords from my bow like Archer does.
あれ、いい教訓になったんだ。勝てない奴には何をやっても勝てない。そんな初歩的なこと、セイバーと向き合うまで気づかなかった。
So I guess in some respects he's not that different from Timeline 1 Shiro. He's still Shiro. That was a good lesson for me. No matter what I do, I can't beat someone I can't beat. I couldn't realize such a simple thing until I fought you. I mean, in Timeline 1, it took him longer to be able to accept the fact that, no, I could kick your ass eventually, but...
そういった心構えの意味も含めて、セイバーと手合わせするのは大切だと思う。
With that in mind, I think it's important to train with you. You skipped Fate Round training scenes? I mean, sure, but they still seem to be here, instead of going down a completely different route, which they certainly could have. Shiro training himself in some ways is certainly good, but I just want him to realize that he has sword birth and, you know, focus on that.
どのくらい効果があるかわからないけど、セイバーがその気になって相手をしてくれれば、俺も少しは生き延びることができるだろう。
With that in mind, I think it's important to train with you. I don't know how effective it'll be, but I should be able to survive longer battles if you train me hard. I suppose an argument can be made that he needs to strengthen his body to even get the sword birth, but it's like, because I know the timeline one, it's debatable. Maybe he does need to just strengthen his body first, but even if he does, I mean, at least here he has strengthening with a goal, where last time, for a while, he didn't have a clear goal. But if that did help him get sword birth, then it did it without even having a goal. This time we have a goal, so what more can we do, is my question that I hope could be somehow answered.
ではシロ
Then Shiro. Should be able to survive longer in battles if you train me hard. I suppose. How much longer, though? If a servant attacks you, it's like, what is the difference? Does it make one shot versus... I mean, it's still probably just going to be one-shots for the most part. It would more be fighting masters, I feel, but... which is fair, but...
これからは時間に余裕がある限り鍛えてくれ。
Yeah, can you train me whenever you have the time? This isn't a bad idea, but I still think you could also be going down the bow route in the meantime.
差し当たってはこれから寝るまで。
For today, that'll be until we go to bed. I take the shinai on the wall. That's right, kick my ass some more, please, Saber. It's still 8 o'clock. There's still 4 hours until bedtime, so I'll train my heart out. Oh no, what happened? Uh-oh. What's going on? What, you're having a glimpse into the future past? What's happening? Is this a connection to Archer again? Because that's the last time you had this weird kind of migraine, right? Hold on, Saber! Are you sensing a thing? Using your spider sense, your Shiro sense. You're sensing that Shinji is going to be attacking, because that's why he sent Sakura away, so there's an attack? Is that what this is? Shiro is such a bottom. It's not wrong. I mean, he's definitely a bottom with Rin. Sakura would probably let him be a top. I mean, I feel like with Saber, it's arguably more mutual. I think Saber wants to give in and let Shiro be the top, but she totally could be the bottom. Or she could totally be the top if she wanted to be, but... Training until the heart falls out. I stopped Saber since I feel my life's in danger. Oh, shoot, it is his Shiro sense! Is this Shinji doing an attack? Is that what it was? Yeah, he wasn't planning to send him to the temple for an ambush. He was just doing a direct ambush because Rin's not living here. That is what it was. Okay. He had Sakura leave, and now Shinji's just going to go straight for the ambush. Oh, boy. Because as Saber turns to me...
何か戦う心構えを鍛えたいということですので、私もシロの意気込みに応えてみたのですが。
What is it? It seems you would like to train your readiness for battle, so I'm only answering your enthusiasm. I mean, yeah, but you're right, we should be training, but also, Shinji's doing some shenanigans. I think it's Shinji. I mean, unless Saber's already controlled by Caster, and we fucked up by not just talking to Saber, and Caster already got to Saber, but that would feel weird. Caster's barely even been in the pathway so far. To be fair, though, again, we've already seen the first pathway first, but, she's obviously ready to kill me. Wait, what? Is this a joke? I thought we were being serious. Wait, are we being serious? Is it Saber that's trying to kill me and she's being controlled by Caster? Because there's no reason that she would be trying to kill me here. It's not like I've done the stupid sexism stuff like from last time, where she didn't even kill me. We just got a fake Taiga Dojo, but... Let us start our training, Shiro. What's going on here? Is this a joke? Does Shiro just feel some weird thing from Saber?
まずはあなたの不明を打ちます。確かにシロはたるんでいますからね。今夜のようなことがないよう気を引き締めてもらわなければ。
I shall take that dullness out of you first. You should be alert that something like tonight will never happen again. Something like tonight? What was tonight? The Shinji thing? You don't know about the Shinji thing. Me coming home late? You're still just mad about me coming home late? Okay. I don't think that would be a reason for Shiro's spidey sense. This feels like a legit thing. This doesn't feel like a, oh, Saber is mad at me thing, right? So she's mad about dinner. Oh. Wait, so this is a joke. I thought we were being serious. What? Huh? It's just bad food? She's gonna kill us because of bad food? But Shiro still had a spidey sense thing about it? What? I'm confused. Yeah, can you train me whenever I have the time for the day? It'll be until we go to bed. So I'll train my heart out. Hold on, Saber! I stopped Saber since I feel my life's in danger. Wow. If this is the spider sense, then Saber really wants to go at it over the dinner. It wasn't even Shiro's dinner. It was just Taiga that fucked up the dinner. I thought Shiro was being serious here, and it's just a joke. Don't do me like that, game.
なんだそりゃ。あれは藤姉が悪いんだろう。
Exactly. What is that? That was all Fujine's fault. Oh, let me guess. She's gonna be like, well, you should have come home earlier so you could have made the dinner instead of her. Oh, it's possible that Saber is doing this and something happened at the same time and Shiro's now doubting himself. I would hope that's the case because, I don't know, I feel like, you know, there's a ebb and flow to how to do the serious and the jokiness, and I feel like that seemed like a serious implication. And I don't think Shiro's spider sense would ping for something like this.
それにセイバーだって文句言いながらちゃんと全部平らげて
Even though you complained, you ate all of it! Please do not make excuses. Okay.
それにしろ意識を失う前に言っておきますがあれはやむなくです
By the way, Shiro,
それを忘れぬように
I will tell you before you faint. That was out of necessity. Please do not forget that. That was out of necessity? A what? That Taiga made the meal and not me? Because I didn't come home in time? To be fair, I didn't tell you about Shinji. I was expecting to be more mad. I was surprised you weren't more mad. If you were really more mad and hiding it inside, then be more... Come on! Saber, don't be such a... tease! Or don't be such a... whatever you call it. You seemed less mad. I thought you were more, you know... Don't be so immature. That's the word. You're right to be mad when I'm not telling you about Shinji, so for all you know, I'm out late for no reason. But, like... you know, express that in a mature fashion. I guess it's coalescing that combined with the dinner thing, but come on. Saber would never actually kill Shiro at this point in time, so that instinct, which is, yeah, that's the thing. She might beat him up, but she would never kill him here. So if it's the real instinct that's triggering, then this shouldn't be it. Unless, you know, if it is, then that gives the idea that it could happen just for getting injured and not something much more. But, like, I mean, that's good and bad, depending. Oh. Saber disappears. Uh-huh. Oh, man. So I'll go through 4 hours of torture now, huh? Grudges over food sure are scary. Do we get a fake Taiga dojo? What's the deal?
セイバーのやつやるとなったら本気で手加減なしでやんの
Saber never went easy on me. So was that all it was? There was no hidden meaning, it was just his spider sense activated. Okay, does that just mean his spider sense can activate for more things than, you know, for even small amounts of danger? I mean, that's fine, but how do you control your spider sense, Shiro? And you have to realize that there's some level of spider sense. I don't know. I get into my futon. Like, normally I'd be okay with that just being a joke if there wasn't a clear sense of him actually having a real kind of spider sense to an extent. If there was no real sense of him having a real spider sense, then I wouldn't mind them throwing that in as a, he has a spider sense as a joke, but he doesn't have a joke. It's a good real joke, non-joke. Okay, there's a danger sense that only activates for guaranteed fatal threats. I mean, sure, but like, you know, I mean, at least there is. If it's true that there's merit both ways, because if it only activates for fatal threats, then you know somebody close by is near that wants to kill me. That's an important thing to know. If it activates for only just you're going to get hurt a bit, then it should activate more, but it won't be as important when it does activate. Because when it does activate, you can't be sure that somebody's close by that's going to attack us. It could just be, oh, you're mad at me and want to beat me up. You know, there's merit to both ways. I get into my futon. My body is covered in bruises and pain-killing patches, and I'm sure it'll all be sore tomorrow. If that was just a meme scene, it ruffles my jimmies a little bit, but eh. I hope it at least plays towards the fact that Shiro has a real spider sense of some sort. He does.
疲れた。
I'm tired. I take a breath. I trained my strengthening magic after Saber's training, and I'm tired both physically and mentally. Oh yes, that strengthening thing that's supposed to be a waste of time. Rin hasn't told you the real way, though, so you're just wasting your time, although it is strengthening your muscles, I suppose, so it does help to some extent. It's not a waste, but Rin never gave you the spiel, so you're still doing it. Saber and Fujine are sleeping in a room a bit away from here, but I don't care. You don't? I mean, now that Sakura's not around, it might be more okay for Saber to sleep closer. I mean, Fujine being here might be a bit of a problem. She was only sleeping over in the first place because of the whole Sakura thing. Debatably. I mean, she was going to sleep over because of the Saber thing, but Saber thing became a thing separately in the other pathway when Rin was involved, and then Fujine never ended up sleeping over, so there should be a difference here, but... I'm just tired. I'll sleep for now and prepare for tomorrow. But? Or no but, and there's a cutaway to Rin. Cutaways at night are common. Come here, come home, come here, come here. Oh shit, what? Come here. Come here, come here, come here. Am I being pulled? Am I dreaming? Come where? Who are you being pulled by? By Castor? By Shinji? By Archer? Are you one and the same? Are you being pulled into the same nexus? I don't know. What is this? Am I dreaming? Is it the Grail? Is the Grail calling you to blah 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 doo? My mind's dozing off. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. My body's asleep and I can't move a finger. Moving your fingers is important. But then this has to be a dream. Or a nightmare. If you recognize a dream, it's a nightmare a lot of the time, so I'm just saying. Oh shit. It's a dark night. This is your place. You're outside of your place. What is this? Oh, what's this? Are you seeing through Archer's vision? Are you like both people at once and you're seeing your second sight from the future past? My ears are ringing. What is this? My feet are asleep, but I'm walking down the hill. Are you sleepwalking? Are you not actually asleep? Is this your inner spirit part coming out a little bit, but you're recognizing it? Because you have a separate split personality? Or something? What is this? Come here, come here. You're being drawn. You're really being drawn. You're come down. It's not just a dream. It's cold. Okay. You're being drawn by something. Come here. You're sleeping, but you're not really sleeping. The blue vision reminds me of when you were underground. Oh, is that what that was? Is that what this is, I mean? Because it reminds me in the Kirei, path when you were underground, he saw when he saw all of the kids that Kirei was using as a power source, there was no light, but he could still make things out, and it was like blue vision. And there's also blue vision. Maybe the indication here is that he's using his same like X-ray-ish dark vision to see all the blue stuff, even though normally it's way too dark. And yeah, maybe that's possible. Maybe something blue is the new black. And yeah, what you said, Wise. Assuming that instinct was real, of real bad things, and not, just general gonna get hurt threats, it could have been alluding to something, sinking his claws, and maybe it's already happened. And so now he's being lured somewhere, come here, mid-sleep, to do what? Where is he being lured? And what is he being lured to do? Just into a trap? Who trapped him? Shinji? Castor? This never happened in Timeline 1. Why did it not happen in Timeline 1? I think the suggestion here is that Shinji or Makiri might be doing this, and they just never risked it because Rin was around and she might have caught on. But Shiro doesn't understand the basics of magic, so maybe doesn't understand that. Maybe he doesn't understand what this is, or maybe when the sense happened, he didn't. Maybe if Rin was there, she would have caught it. So maybe it is Shinji doing it. Where would he be being drawn? The other option is that he's being drawn by his own inner demon self, but I think it's one of those two seem the most likely candidates. It seems like a caster thing, but I don't know that caster would know about us or know to get in unless caster's master is close to us like Issei and also didn't act for the same reason because of Rin, but just didn't, we never were made aware, but maybe that's a possibility. The caster said she killed her master, and if that's true, then it can't be Issei, but semantics. It's cold. The wind is blowing on me, and since I'm in my pajamas, my body is freezing. Oh boy. Fun, fun, fun. This coldness is unlike Fuyuki City. The chill would be cold enough to wake me up if this were a dream. It's not a dream. It's reality. Come to realization, Shiro. Come here, come here. Where are we coming? Where are we coming? Who's coming us here? I walk through the empty town. What's happening? What's the destination? The annoying sound won't stop. And you're following it. Are you not able to realize because you're too far entranced in the trance? Ignoring my shivering body, my feet are moving towards somewhere. Where are they moving though? Where's the destination? If it's another master, this could just be a very easy trap. If it's your inner demon side, anything could be going on. Oh! I try to scream and realize that my throat is frozen. Okay, you're trying to resist. Seems like you're being trapped somewhere, lured somewhere, but where and how and why? This seems, I don't know, if it's Shinji, he's never shown to be able to do anything like this. It could just be a Maki Respo. The other possibility is, again, Caster, but then she'd have to know about me and have chosen not to act for a while. Then again, she did attack us that one time. She still knew where we were, but I figured she just figured out after a while, given that we attacked the temple once, Saber attacked the temple, and then we were forced to retreat, I figured Caster would have no doubt figured it out in time anyways. But maybe she figured it out much sooner, by just sensing the general area, and knew about us, and with Rin not being there, maybe she just made the move. That's certainly possible. Try to scream and realize my throat is frozen. This isn't a dream. This can't be a dream. It could be a nightmare. I mean, stuff like this has happened to me in nightmares, but, giving the notion that it's real is certainly real. What? My mind's still asleep. My limbs, they aren't following my orders, and they're walking as if manipulated by something. Come here, come here, come here. Are we going to the temple? Maybe it is a caster thing. Oh, it's a caster thing. Alright, this is a caster thing. Alright. So caster's known about us for longer than I realized. It wasn't just she figured out along the way. She just kind of knew where everyone was. Okay. She didn't act in the other timeline because Rin was close by and didn't think she could get anything past while we were both together. But with me being alone, she figured I was inexperienced enough to make a move. I suppose. Shinji knew about the temple, probably because Makiri is a smart cookie and knew, and told Shinji about the temple, and told him to feed the information to Shiro in Timeline 1. Didn't bother in this timeline because there was no point to the ambush with Rin not being there, is my assumption. But that means Caster's, known since almost the beginning, which isn't too surprising, but... Yeah, I remember that. Archer said Caster's eyes are kind of, I remember that. And that's something I more or less guessed because she is sort of a magus herself, being able to sense where everyone is, especially if she's, drawing power from the temple, being able to sense everything. I could totally see that. I just didn't know if, this early on she would have gathered enough, intel, but it seems like she has. Assuming that her master just doesn't know me, or she didn't already make a move. Like, if she even killed her master, if that's even true. Or if she did she do it yet? Maybe she hasn't done it yet, questions. This must be the destination. My feet move faster as they move up the stairs. So, she can do it on you maybe because you're weak magically. In theory, you're weak magically, but you're actually secretly superpowered Satan. But in theory, you're weak magically, so she's doing it on you because your place is also somewhat unprotected. And what's the plan here? Just to kill you? Does she not want to take Saber's body in this timeline? Maybe she saw the Archer Berserker battle and is giving more props to Archer. Or maybe she always would have went after Archer in the other timeline. But because Archer got sniped early, she went for Saber instead. So this timeline, maybe she cares more about Archer. She doesn't care about just killing Shiro, getting that out of the way, and then maybe stealing Archer's body is maybe her plan? Possibly. Or she's going to use me as a lure. Come here, boy. That sounds like Caster for sure. Maybe she's going to use me as a lure and she does want to catch Saber, though. It could still be Saber. And I'm the lure? I don't know. The ringing in my ears turns into a voice. This is definitely Caster, then. All right. Dash. No, that's wrong. Shigalio! Sure, there's a lot of stupid stuff that ends in bad situations. This time it really isn't. I mean, debatably, if he had the spider sense and ignored it, maybe it's his fault. Maybe he could have understood something. This would have been hard to avoid. I think there were ways, but yeah, this is definitely one that was hard for him to avoid, for sure. This is, which I appreciate. In Timeline 1, a lot of the time it was, this happened because you were stupid and let it happen. And this one, it's more, they did something smart and it would have been really hard to see it coming, to be fair. The sound hasn't changed at all. It has been repeating the same thing over and over. Okay, so how do I get saved from this? Assuming it's not a bad ending, which I don't think it is, there's two possibilities. I end up showing off how I'm actually super awesome and can just get away. I guess there's technically three possibilities, but I'm not going to... I'll talk about the third one in a second. The first possibility is that I show off how super strong I am and just am able to get away. And they could do that because we already know he's super strong from Timeline 1. But given that he just started training, I think this is still a little early in the timeline for him to save himself like that. And there also wouldn't be much of a point to the plot twist because we know he's strong, even if we don't fully know why. I think it's more likely, possibly, because we know Rin is active at night anyways, and we know that Rin was maybe monitoring Caster. I think there's a decent chance Archer swoops in and saves us from this. The other option I was thinking of, the third option I said that I don't think is very likely, is that Ilya saves us, if Ilya does like us already, but there's not been a clear indication that Ilya really likes us much in this timeline. Timeline 1, there was a clear through line. Timeline 2, she didn't see us super injured, so she wasn't given a reason to be like, oh no, I do like him. So I don't think she would necessarily save us, and it makes more sense because Rin has been somewhat following up on Caster, probably, that Archer's the one to save us. Assuming we don't just save ourselves, which is possible. The sound hasn't changed at all. It's been repeating the same thing over and over. Come. Come on. Come here now, boy. What fills my head is a female voice filled with magical energy. Where's Assassin in all this? Maybe Archer saves us and then Assassin attacks and we're forced to retreat. Will Saber show up? I don't have a chance to communicate yet. Is Assassin still working with Caster in this timeline, I wonder? I don't know that anything would have changed enough, unless there's something we're not privy to, that they wouldn't have teamed up, based on an understanding of why they teamed up in the first place. Assassin also got killed off screen in the last one, and it's not really made clear if, like, Gilgamesh did that, or, like, Caster did that because she was done with him, like, she betrayed him because she had no further use for him once she had finished setting up her spell to take Saber's body, or whatever it was, is my assumption there. So, maybe Assassin's just getting manipulated, in which case it's possible he could maybe form an alliance with Assassin's Master. Given how honorable Assassin is, I think that's definitely possible. Didn't I already theorize? Yeah, there's a good chance that Assassin's Master is a youngin', and so they're getting taken advantage of? Quite possibly. They're forced into an alliance to try to save themselves, and then Assassin gets taken advantage of and Caster kills him in Timeline 1. Which means Assassin's Master might be, a youngin', maybe a young boy. Maybe he had, Assassin kill his family or whatever, because he's not a nice boy, but maybe he is an inexperienced boy? Maybe. We still haven't met him in that case, but he's been debatably foreshadowed, so if we meet him in Timeline 2 and there's 3 timelines, there's enough room for development, I suppose. I see the mountain gate. Something's on the other side. But what is it? And if I cross that gate, I won't come out alive. Do I get a choice? Dash. I don't know what it is, but my dozing mind screams out for me to run away. Sure. Isn't it more dazing mind? Whatever. Go back. Go back. Go back. This reminds me of the whole Kirei thing, but it's not red text this time because he's more, aware of his own situation. Also, this isn't really avoiding a hard truth. It's just, another master and or servant is trying to kill you, so... Stop. You can still make it. Wake up and go back. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Don't listen to the voice. Oh. Don't listen to that voice. You're being lured to the temple by the seductress voice. Like a succubus. My consciousness wakes up. Oh shit, you wake up! Oh, that shows, I think, some of your superpowered evil side waking you up. I think this is something that probably you were never supposed to wake up from. You're probably supposed to be too much of a muggle. But you actually secretly have awesome metachlorians, and so your body wakes you up, and you're like, yeah! So are you going to save yourself? That depends. Are you going to run away, or are you going to approach the temple? If you're smart and you have conscience, you were just telling yourself to run away. You should probably just get out of there. If you confront, that feels like something that might lead to a bad end at this point, if I'm giving such a choice. I assumed Archer'd snap us out of it or something. Or Rin, but I mean, just because there's a servant close by, Archer'd probably be there too. But if we snap out of it ourselves, maybe not. My head clears and my will finally returns. Can you communicate with Saber to tell her to get the fuck over here? It's too late. Is it too late? My limbs don't obey me as they go through the mountain gate. Oh, okay, so we're still trapped even though you have your senses? So it was only a partial escape. So maybe it wasn't a superpowered evil side and it was just allowed to happen. I don't know. So I guess we still get saved. The only certain thing is my mind. My body does not listen to my will and walks into the Rito Temple following the voice. Okay, so can we fully save ourselves? Is this part of her expectations? Did she expect us to have our mind? Or is she like, what? How do you have your mind? Back to the climax of the original scene. The original timeline. We initially never came here. I don't think we ever set foot here, that's right. In timeline 1... there was like a trap right at the front, and if you go into it, there's like a bad ending where Castor's like, you came into my dimension. So we didn't actually end up coming here till the climax, so we never came here while Castor was running around. So, definitely a change. The temple is covered in darkness. In the center stands something with an inhuman magical energy. Is it Castor? Maybe that's why Castor set her base here, because she knew the Grail would show up here. Well, then again, maybe the Grail just showed up here because Kirei took Elia. So I'm not exactly sure, but I know they said it's a powerful spot, but I'm not sure if it's necessarily the spot where the Grail shows up, or that's just because Kirei took it here. I don't remember exactly, but... Oh, hey there! Yep. The figure wavers like a mirage. What's up, Castor? How you doing? Having fun? Ah, yeah, that image is familiar, if memory serves. I've seen this. I don't remember if I saw it in regular Timeline 1 or Bad Ending. I don't remember if it was the Bad Ending where Shiro accidentally walked into the trap, or if this is what she looked like when she approached us in Timeline, later on in the timeline. I think this is not what she looked like at the time, but I could be wrong. I've definitely seen her like this at some point, though. The figure wavers like a mirage. The shadow reminded me of death, strips off the darkness, and... Oh! There we go. The figure becomes a witch, like one would see in a fairy tale. And you see, I mean, I've talked about this before, but she looks like she could totally just be Ryder. Or rather, Ryder is her, and Ryder does castorish stuff, so... I feel like there's merit to the in-between theory. We're not getting a clear look at her full face. What we do see, she has purplish hair, which isn't far off from Ryder's, pinkish purple hair. I feel like there's you can make a bit of a distinction. We don't see the full face of Ryder either, really. I feel like, there are lines that are connect these two. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some actual relation, even if they're not literally the same person.
そこで止まりなさい、坊や。
Stop right there, boy.
それ以上近づかれると殺してしまうでしょ。
I'll kill you if you come any closer. Okay, so what do I do? A sneering laugh. It seems my body is under her control. Oh boy, my body. My feet that never stopped freeze at the moment. Don't come any closer. Does that mean that my mind being my own is not part of her control? She should know that I can't come any closer. Maybe it's a threat if I do regain control because me regaining some control was not part of her plans. Maybe? Dash. My consciousness wavers. My limbs still do not move, and an unknown enemy is standing before me. That's right, because so far he's seen the Berserker Ilya pair. He's seen Rin Tosaka, and he's seen Ryder and Shinji, so this would be the fourth he's seen. He's the fifth. Oh, and he's seen Lancer, which is 6. So I guess he still hasn't seen Assassin. That's the only one he hasn't seen in this timeline. At least, one of each pair. Yes, she's an enemy. I can be sure of that. She's a servant, a heroic spirit that excels the most in magic out of the 7 servants. Caster! Servant caster! I mean, Ryder has some pretty casterish things that she does, but I guess they're not as strong as casterish things, but maybe she's also implying if we summon Saber here, she'll instantly kill us. I mean, can we even summon? I mean, maybe the command spell will overpower this, whatever she's doing to us. I guess that's possible. Maybe that's the implication. But, does she still want to control Saber's body eventually? Is that still her plan, I wonder? I move my throat with all my effort and glare at my enemy.
その通りよ、坊や。ようこそ私の神殿へ。歓迎するわ、セイバーのマスターさん。
Yes, that's right, boy. Welcome to my temple. I welcome you, Saber's master. Saber's master-san. Her cool voice is mocking me. Well, you're easily mockable. No offense. Dash. I put power into my legs, but my body will not move. If it did successfully move, she'd kill you, so I'd be a little careful about that. Damn, what the hell am I doing? I've been lured here, and on top of that, I can't move a muscle. Oh boy. Seems bad. So how do we get saved? Or is this a long bad end? It could be. Maybe choosing the Sakura thing was wrong. Maybe we had to strategize more with Saber first to avoid, I don't know, a delayed bad end. It's possible. I concentrate on my limbs with all my power. I'm doubting it, because logically it would make sense that Rin and Archer would be following up on Caster. We already saw them following up a little bit in the interlude. So, I'm thinking that, but, maybe not. I don't know what kind of a trick it is, but it has to be her magic that's restraining me. Then if I can extract your magical energy out of my body... Oh, that sounds hot. Giggity. That's some good water I'm drinking.
自由になれると思って。可愛いこと。そんな方法で私の呪縛を解こうだなんて。
We dovetailed by going the Sakura choice, yeah. Yeah. By choosing Sakura, we did the thing where, just like how in Timeline 1 we dovetailed into UBW, this is the thing where we did the Sakura, which puts us on the Sakura timeline, but it's not the real Sakura timeline, and so we're just delaying another bad end from that timeline. Oh, very possible, yeah. You think you can free yourself? How cute of you. You're going to kill my spell with such a method? How naive. Nani? I concentrate all my will to search throughout my body. Caster's magical energy. The enemy's magical energy that's inside of me, restraining my body. Oh yeah, he's good at this. He's good at looking inside his body. I look inside my body while keeping my eyes open. It's alright. It's nothing difficult if I'm calm. Calm. I identify the flow of magical energy every night. That's right. The thing he doesn't need to do is finally coming in handy again. Yay! I just have to do what I've been doing and identify Castor's poison inside of me. Even if I can't get it out of my body, I can concentrate it into one of my limbs so that I can move the other 3. The other 3? As if you only have 4 limbs? Oh, well, I guess... Oops, I bumped my mic. I guess 2 arms and 2 legs would be your 2 limbs, or 4 limbs in this case. Huh? Oh, no. She's realizing something like that. Even though it's something you normally don't do, she can see through it. How can this be? Castor's magical energy is not mixed within me. It's not? The only poison-like element is this one small point on my chest. And that's all she needs? But all of my body is acting abnormally. The point on your chest is messing your circulation up. Oh, no. What do? Dash, just dash, just dash. It's not that there's something wrong with the blood flowing in me. If there's something abnormal, it's not my blood, but the blood vessels themselves. Uh-oh. You were puppeted. Puppeting does seem to be her shtick. It's like having my heart locked up. That'd be bad, because that'd kill you. The red spot on my chest has to be Castor's magical energy. Oh, no. That's what was wrong. You should have stripped naked when you were facing Saber earlier, and you could have been like, oh, there's a red spot in your chest. One cursed word is taking away my body's authority. Oh, no. What word? What's the word? Rosebud. No way. Bakana! Means I was cursed when I was sleeping. Were you? Or was it before that? Cursed when you were sleeping, huh? From far away? How does it work from far away? She had to get somewhat close, I would feel like, to, you know, put some kind of magical ley lines in the air to go like hooga booga booga. And you weren't able to see the hooga booga booga because you're kind of bad at regular magic, maybe? Maybe. Even if I was asleep, it should have been impossible for me to be seized by a magic cast from so far away. So maybe she was actually closer than you thought? It was in the food. She poisoned the food. She's in on it with Taiga. Ah! Magi have magic resistance. It is the power to repel magic such as hypnotism, binding, and coercion. As long as one is a magus, one cannot be easily controlled by others. It's debatable how real of a magus you are, but sure. It's a fundamental law. You need metachlorians. Magi have magic circuits. The circuit in one's body does not only make magical energy, but it can also repel external magical energy. Yeah, but hers is like really strong and stuff, so. Therefore, it is difficult to interfere with someone with a magic circuit, and it is difficult even to control a magus several ranks lower than you. But this is, you know, you're not just several ranks lower, you're also like several ranks lower because she's a servant. Yeah. As the magic circuit repels external magic energy, magic is destroyed before it can be completed. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Shiro uses fake circuits anyways. Shiro likes to think he's special. Or does he? Actually, he doesn't. But I mean, I guess in this regard, because it's the one thing he's been training all this time. For that reason, indirect intervention magic such as hypnotism and binding has a low success rate. Oh, that's kind of unfortunate. I mean, I guess hypnotism and binding is better against, you know, muggles, as it were. But you wouldn't use it against muggles, because then people would know. Well, hypnotism they wouldn't know because they're being hypnotized, but depends on when the hypnotist ends and if they know they were hypnotized, I suppose, but be destroyed before it can complete. Makes sense. Expels. Even if the target is not a magus, the magic can be repelled unconsciously if the target has a magic circuit. Oh, so like if you're a muggle but you have a magic circuit, so you're like not a muggle. You're a wizard but you don't know you're a wizard. You're Harry Potter. It can be repelled, I understand. You still need metachlorians. You just don't know you have them. From that point of view, an intervention of just attacking with pure magic energy like Tosaka does, making a weapon in this world and attacking the opponent as a result is a simple method. But she's doing a complicated method. That shows that she's really caster. Wow! Physical impact works on everyone. It does not matter if the target has a magic circuit or not, as people will bleed if they are cut with a knife. Oh boy, really? I didn't know that. Tell me more, Shiro. Give me more lessons on life. How does blood work? Blood magic? Dash, dash. That's why the situation is strange. Doctor Strange. Why am I making references? I don't know. Reference mode. I watched the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Very intrigued by Winter Soldier. Falcon's like, I mean, he's fine, but I've liked the Winter Soldier for a while, so, you know. I'm sure it could be affected if I had magic cast on me from close range. Maybe it was closer than you think. Maybe she did it while you were sleeping. Yeah, if she has so strong magic, why am I not dead? I mean, there's that, I suppose. Blood magic hype. That's right. Let's go blood magic. Stuck in a wonderland. Nothing but blood on my hand. If I'd met Caster before and she had cast coercion on me, it's problematic that it can be controlled even at distance. These simple spells that apparently exist that you know of. I guess Kiritsugu taught you these, and we just never learned of them in Timeline 1. Oh, Nasu and your lore. Magic on me from close range. If I'd met Caster before in disguise? Was she secretly disguised? Was she disguised at Ryder? Caster is Ryder all along. The theory is proven correct, ultimately. Oh, wait. If I had met Caster before and she had cast coercion, it's probable that I could be controlled even at a distance. Oh. Are you saying it is probable? I thought you said no. Even if she cast coercion, it wouldn't work. But no, she's saying it could. So again, Caster is Ryder confirmed. I've not met Caster before, nor have I had a curse cast on me. She could have been disguised, given that she's Caster. Or, you know, Caster just is Ryder confirmed. This is our first meeting. Or is it? Maybe Caster is controlling you from the first timeline. Wow. Yeah, Dan Lemon wondering a stacking. Okay. Maybe, maybe she's also part of the... She died, but then had a contingency magical timey-wimey. I don't think so. I don't think she's that powerful. I think it's more the Grail doing the timey-wimey. But maybe she's the ultimate evil of ultimateness. Possibly. Don't want to rule it out. Without moving from here, Caster cast a spell to the faraway Emiya house to control my body. Caster is actually our childhood friend of our evil spirit. Oh, of course. Caster is actually also knew both me, Shiro, and Rin when we were, you know, young and whatever and had some weird connection. Caster was in on the connection as well at some point, even though the Grail War hadn't happened yet. She was from the future past. Don't worry about it. The word witch pops into my head. If she can control Mags' body from a distance of a few kilometers... Yeah, witch? I mean, you know that she's Caster, so does that give you an idea of the exact servant? I didn't think you knew enough about this kind of bullshit, but maybe you do. Maybe you've been studying, that you know enough. Maybe. Does it not mean that Caster can control everyone in this town from here? Maybe she can control all the muggles from here, possibly, if she concentrates. That's very possible, given that she uses mooks a whole bunch. Maybe those mooks are real people. Maybe the Scullies are real people. Very much could be. There's an implication that's what's going on based on Rin's interlude from earlier, where she noticed that all the people were left alive. They could be, you know, future Scullies. My spirit weakens. Or my spirits weaken. Both of my spirits, they both weaken. My regular Shiro spirit and my inner demon spirit, they both weaken. As the magic is complete, there's no way I can dispel it. Silly Shiro. You can only use dispel magic on completed magics. If they're in the middle of being cast, you use counterspell. I can't do anything unless Caster releases me or I get some outside help. So Archer then. Or Rin? I mean, I assume Rin Archer combo, but Archer probably be the brunt of the...
理解できて。あなたを縛っているのは私の魔力ではなく、魔術そのもの。
Do you get it now? It is my magic that is binding you and not my magical energy. What? I don't know what the difference is, but sure, I get it, I think. No? Maybe? You're saying it's your raw magic and not any kind of spell? It's just your raw magic is controlling me? I don't know. Kinky.
一度成立した魔術は魔力という水では洗い流せない。
Oh. Never mind. Magic energy is more complicated. What? No, wait. Magic is more complicated than magic. Oh, no, magical energy would just be your energy. And it's not just your energy, it's actual magic. You're a wizard, Harry. A completed magic cannot be washed away by water like a magical energy can. Oh, okay. So the assumption before was that it was magical energy? I mean, I always just assumed it was magic in that case, but okay. A completed magic. Do you mean a completed spell? I guess you don't want to call them spells because they're already command spells, but these could be spells too. Very easily. You are a magus after all.
液体と固体のようなものよ。形を得たものに水をかけてもその形は崩れないでしょ。
It is just like solid and liquid. The solid does not crumble even if water is poured on it, right? Depends on the solid. And it also depends on how much water you're pouring on it. It's very possible to pour enough water on something solid, depending on what solid thing it is, for it to, like, maybe turn to mush and eventually crumble, possibly. It might not, like, dust away, but mushify. The shadow steps closer to me. Teaching with Castor, yeah! The bluish-purple robe, melting into the night, is smiling.
けれど例外もあるわ。
There are exceptions. Oh.
例えばそうね。あなたたちが編み上げた魔術など、私にしてみれば泥の建造物に過ぎない。
Of course, you just have to one-up everyone. For example, yes, the magic you people make is like mud buildings to me. So you actually can wash that away with a bunch of water. Very fair. Very good analogy. Good job, Castor. Good teacher. But that means you've admitted there's exceptions, so I could potentially wash yours away if I'm just secretly have a million metachlorians, which I do, but do I know how to use them?
そんなもの、かける水流が多く激しければ、形になっていようと簡単に洗い流せる。
I can wash it away with a violent water current, even if it may be a solid.
理解できて？私とあなたたちの違いは、そういう次元の話なのよ。
Do you understand? The difference between us is that great. Well, you know, maybe I won't make a mud castle. Or, you know, maybe I'll make it far away enough from any water that you can't do it unless you bring water out from the ocean. Like, you know, you just bring it in a cup and pour it randomly instead of, you know, having the actual waves wash it away. If that's the case, it's not even a current, though, so your analogy falls apart.
それでわざわざこんなところまで呼びつけたわけ。
You and Saber should be friends. She also has analogies that involved water, which at first glance I'm like, wait, what? Although yours made more sense on first glance, to be fair. I see. That's why you brought me here, huh? Is it? I don't understand. Why were you brought here? As bait? If that is, I mean, I'm assuming bait or something, or just to kill me. But she's explaining how she brought you here. I don't think she's explaining why you brought me here.
ええ。マスターたちは皆小物だけど、
I see.
その中でもあなたは飛び抜けて力不足でしたから。
Yes, all the masters are weak, but you are the weakest by far. I mean, I'm secretly the strongest. You shot your face, but I guess it's fair that you don't know that. Maybe if they're gonna make a big deal about it being Shiro because he's the weakest by far, maybe instead of Archer saving me, it'll be more of a I'm actually strong. Or they could do both, I guess.
何しろ町の人間たちと変わらない高魔力ですもの。
Your magic resistance is on the same level as that of ordinary people in this town. I assume Shinji's magic resistance would normally be also pretty bad, but Makiri might have hooked him up with something to up his resistance levels.
そんなマスターを見つけたら、こうして話をしたくなるのは当然でしょ。
It's only natural that I'd want to talk to such a master, you know? Oh, what, are you gonna propose an alliance too? You know I'm a weakling, so you want to work with the weakling, take out other strong people, then you can take me out when you want? Is that your goal? Is that what you did with Assassin in Timeline 1? Where's Assassin? Is he not here? Did you never team up in this timeline? What's going on? She smiles. She shows superiority as if I'm her prey. Oh, well, you very much are. Dash, 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 dash. A chill runs through me. How do we get out of this predicament? What a pickle! Caught in a caster net. Nope, caught in it. No, I spelled that right. I thought I was like, set. That's not right. It was net. It was net, and I was saying net. But now, we're assassin. That's right. We're the new assassin. We've replaced assassin as job. Assassin's off somewhere else. Or maybe there is something else going on with him instead of us. But yeah. Maybe we're the... okay. Or, you know, she's just killing me. But if she wants to take Saber's body, I might be bait. Would she be ready to take Saber's body yet? I don't know. It feels maybe I'm being a captive to eventually take Saber's body. Is that her plan? Possibly. We will learn more about her plan after I take a bit of an intermission. A chill runs through me because Caster is being casterlizing us. Oh, don't lie about wanting to talk to me. That's interesting. Shiro, you and your inner monologue, you can sense her death will? Ooh. Yeah, because she's saying that she... Ooh. Oh, I see. Because she said that she wanted to talk to me and not just kill me. Very true. Very fair. You are the weakest by far. I'd want to talk to such a master, quote-unquote. And that triggers him because he actually does want to, you know, talk to masters civilly and resolve things civilly. But, you know, and he's already had some talks with Shinji and probably didn't enjoy those that much, so... This might be extra triggering for him because of his interaction with Shinji he just had. Quite possibly. She's ready to kill me at any moment!
ほらまた誤解。安心なさい。殺してしまっては魔力を吸い上げられないわ。
See, you're... Maybe I'm crazy, but her voice sounds like it could be Mitsuzuri's same actor. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't tell me. It sounds like it could be. If it is, that doesn't necessarily mean anything specific. But it could. I might be wrong anyways. I heard a similarity in there. Anyways, you're misunderstanding again. Don't worry, I can't suck up your magical energy if I kill you. Aiko's caster, of course. Aiko's the master. That's why we don't see her again. She's dead. Of course, Aiko from the future past. Just like Archer Shiro from the future past. We just gotta nail down which each servant is from the future past. Saber is Tiger from the future past. I think we've talked about that one already.
この町の人間は皆私のものですからね。
Everyone in this town is mine, of course.
殺さない程度に生かし続けて、最後の一滴まで差し出してもらわないと。
I have to let them live and have them give me every bit of their magical energy. Of course, we have to all fuel you. So you can't kill me, I have to be your fuel. Sounds like Kira. Her laugh echoes in my ears. Quite a cruel one indeed. Nani indeed. A missing piece fits inside my head. Which missing piece? Did she just say she'll suck up all the magical energy from the people in this town? That is what she says. That means bad guy confirmed, so you can go wild. No need to hold back anymore, inner Shiro. Let your inner awesome Shiro out. Do it! Caster, you involved innocent people in this? Indeed she did. She's debatably possibly worse than Shinji. I mean, you know, maybe we just don't know her well enough. I don't even know her master. If she, you know, she says she killed him. What's the whole deal with that? But,
あら、知らなかったの？あの小娘と手を組んだのだから、当然知っているものと思っていたけど。
Ah.
そう。
Yeah, because Rin was doing a bit of a fighty fight with Caster, and Rin was now cooperating with me, so makes sense that you would think that I would just know, but Rin probably didn't want to get me involved with Castor. She thought Castor was maybe too scary. So said, let's focus on what's going on at the school where things will be safer for you, is probably Rin's mindset. If Rin's really looking out for me, she would assumedly have seen this happen, combined with the fact that she's probably following up with Castor means she probably knows I'm in danger and could probably save me, right? You didn't know? I thought you already knew since you cooperated with that little girl. I see.
まだ知らなかったのね、あなた。
You didn't know, huh? That aftertaste. Castor smiles even more. I just had my hot dog break for the YouTube audience. So that's what I mean by aftertaste. It seems like she's pondering how to kill her prey. While she ponders how to kill you, maybe you should ponder how to not get killed. Or what to do if you get miraculously saved by someone like Archer, which I think is a real possibility. You should maybe be pondering what comes after that.
なら教えてあげる。私、キャスターのサーバントには陣地を作る権利があるのよ。
In that case, I shall tell you. I, Servant Castor, have the privilege to make a territory. Are we playing Go? Because, I've gotten pretty good at Go recently. I mean, and sometimes I make a mistake and they take all my territory because I made the wrong move, but I usually can carve out quite a bit of territory for myself. I do say so. I'm mostly I play 13 by 13 right now for time's sakes. I want to start playing more 19 by 19. But I still all right 19 by 9. I mean, there's just so much territory, but I mean. Uh.
魔術師は工房を持つものでしょ？それと同じよ。
It's just like Go. She's claiming more territory than she should be allowed to, and thus there should be a move that punishes that. A Magus has a workshop, right? It's just like that. You're claiming the whole city is your workshop. Rin wouldn't like that, given that, it's like supposed to be her turf.
私はこの場所に神殿を作って、あなたたちから身を守る。
I constructed a temple in this place to protect myself. You constructed it? Or do you mean like a magical temple? Because there's a real temple here that's been here for a while. So if you mean you actually constructed it, does that mean that you're actually the master and you took over Castor's role? Or does it mean that you, Castor, were secretly here all along and you are your own master? She was punished by Gil. Oh yeah, in the other timeline. But what about this one?
幸いこの土地はサーバントにとって鬼門ですからね。
Fortunately, this land is an unfavorable land for servants. Yeah, that reminds me, in Timeline 1, she definitely, got worth for Gil, because they really built up Castor in Timeline 1 as a really big, scary deal. I mean, they only built her up for a little bit, but then, she had like an impenetrable shield or something, and then Gil just pierced right through and was like, I gotcha. So I'm wondering how we actually beat that shield, because, they don't need to use her to be warped again. It'd be funny if they did warp her somehow for some reason, but it doesn't seem like they need to warp her, so I think we have to actually beat her this time. So it'll be interesting to see how we do that when we don't have a Gilgamesh on our side.
陣地としては優れているし、何より魔力を集めやすい。
It's excellent as my territory, and most of all, it's easy to collect magical energy from here. Indeed.
はじめはあまりにもあなたたちの魔力が少なくて加減がつかなかったけれど、今は程よく集められるわ。
I couldn't hold back at first since you people only have small amounts of magical energy, so you accidentally killed some people when taking their energy. But I can collect it pretty well now. Oh, I see you know how to take it in doses. You know how to not overdo it.
ほら見えるでしょ。この土地に溜まった数百人分の魔力の貯蔵。うぞうむぞうの人のかけらが。
You can see it, right? The preserved magical energy. Pieces of people in this land collected from hundreds of people. Only hundreds? Aren't you selling yourself short? Is it really just hundreds? I guess it depends on how many people live here. I assume it's in the thousands.
しゃあ、町で起きてる事件はお前が。
Oh, well, if you mean only everyone that's been affected by the gas leak incidents, that's a bit different. Then maybe, yeah, sure, hundreds. But then the incidents occurring in town are...
ええ、ここは私の神殿だと言ったでしょ?
Yes, I told you this is my temple, right? This whole area is mine. Very much superiority complex, for sure.
なら供物を捧げるのは下界でうごめく人間たちの使命ではなくて
You and Shinji would, I mean, I don't know. No, you and Gil, honestly, have similar personalities, I would say. If you're similar to this to anyone, it's probably Gil, but genterbent. You think you're above everything, you think everything is below you. Gil was able to back it up a little bit more. It's always interesting with people like this to see how they crack. Caster kind of just cracked by being like, ah! Whereas Gil, you know, Caster cracked in more of, at least in Timeline 1 when Gil kicked her butt, in just, you know, a sad, no kind of way. Whereas Gil more enjoyed it. He was like, yes, finally something to beat me. Ish. So, different ways to crack, but they come from generally the same demeanor. It is not the people's duty to offer me sacrifices. The strange comma in the strange comma. You put a comma before a period. The strange comma incidents happening in town. There are 2 M's in the word comma. I thought there weren't that many victims, but you just said hundreds of people. Yeah, that's quite a few. Maybe the ones you don't know about are the ones that turn into Scullies. Maybe there's some that are being kept hidden that aren't announced about. Maybe the exact casualties are kept hidden because she has a lure on the inside by puppeting people. Possibly. When I strain my eyes, can you see the magical ley lines flowing everywhere? Yep, Shiro, we have a supervillain, that's true. I mean, Gilgamesh was definitely Biggie Baddie, I mean Kira, I guess, in Timeline 1, Caster serves a very similar purpose, possibly, in this timeline. Although, it's a bit different, because Timeline 1, Shiro was in a mental state where he didn't actually care that much about fighting the supervillain. He just wanted to be with his girlfriend, as it were. And once he realized that he was unhealthfully wanting to be with his girlfriend, he didn't end up even confronting Gilgamesh in the end. He just went for confronting Kirei. So, maybe in this one, he can be actually more of the hero who confronts the villain, as it were. Caster as the final boss? I guess. If, you know, maybe we're in a world where we take out Kirei mid-pathway, and so Gilgamesh never gets a chance to one-shot Caster, and then Mockery also isn't involved. It's possible. I still think it's a bit unlikely, based on how easily she got murked in Timeline 1. I don't see her as being a final boss at all, but she could be the hard midway point. She might be the Berserker of this timeline. Possibly. And then there's also the Rider of this time, because, you know, Berserker felt sort of like a midpoint in the war. Rider was first blood, as it were. As for who's going to be first blood in this timeline, yeah, I think, you know, I could see her as being the Berserker of this timeline. When I strain my eyes, it looks like the swirl of magical energy in this place is made of more than 1,000 souls. If she is the Berserker, she technically gets taken out earlier, but she's given more of an emphasis. And also it doesn't have to follow the exact same beats, you know, but there is still always going to be a general first blood halfway into the war ending, but even if it's a little more loose than that, you can usually find beats. What he said. I concentrate all my will into my limbs. So they're like, is that what he's seeing? Oh shit. When I strain my eyes, it looks like the swirl of magic going into this place is made of more than 1,000 souls. So it's not just hundreds, yeah. More than 1,000. Are these all the gas incident people that she's, like, claimed? Are they, like, dead mentally, even if they lived? Because Rin said that they were alive. None of them were dead. Maybe they weren't dead, but their souls had already been at least partially captured to be used as scullies at any time. Possibly. Or maybe these are all souls of the people in this city. Like, not just the people that have been affected, but there's a little piece of all of them already here, just waiting to be, like, sapped upon, possibly. Oh, yeah, coma incidents. Right, they go into comas because their soul is here. Makes sense, makes sense. They're physically alive, but their spirit is here to be used later on as Scullies, most likely. Or to be gathered for some big, you know, culmination of stuff. So anyways, yeah, Shiro, this is a pretty big deal. So if anytime you want to break out your super powered side, if you can do it for any reason other than romance, now would be a good time. But there's no change in Castor standing there as if to make fun of me.
さあ、それでは話を済ませてしまいましょうか。
Well, let us finish our conversation.
あなたもずっとそうしているのは退屈でしょ?
It must be boring for you to stay like that as well. I gotta admit, she gets me a little more harder than Gilgamesh. They have similar personalities, but, you know, I just get off a little bit on the, you know, evil female villains, which she hasn't had much of a chance, but, you know, now she has the chance, so, you know. She whispers into my ear. Oh, yeah, whispers me nothing's more. At the same time, the enemy I couldn't see fills my vision. Oh, wise.
Saber のマスタ
Ooh,
ー。
is that a new pose?
あなたからはその令状をもらってあげるわ。
Saber's master. What is with everyone trying to take my command spell in this timeline? I shall take the command spell from you. In timeline 1, I was given a chance and I was able to give it up to Kirei. But, you know, in this timeline where I'm given no chance, people constantly trying to be taking it from me. You know, Shinji might want it. I don't know, maybe it's part of Makiri's plan for Shinji to take it from me. Rin originally tried to take it. Fucking Castor wants to take it. And that's right, because Castor said she killed her master. Has that already happened? And if it is, what do the command spells be used for? Are you going to use them to control Saber? Because it's not like you'd use them for yourself, since you are the servant. So I'm not exactly sure what that does. Maybe you're just trying to get a way to control... Will it help controlling Saber? Maybe it will. Just not sure exactly what you're going to do with them, being that you yourself are a servant, but I guess you have a plan.
セイバーは消すには惜しいサーバントですもん。
Ah, yes, you still want to take control of her. Okay. Saber is too valuable to have disappear.
彼女にはあの目障りなバーサーカーを倒してもらうとしましょう。
I shall have her defeat that annoying berserker. And you're right, she did in Timeline 1. You're smarticle. Yet you still decided to take her over in Timeline 1 even after Berserker was taken out. I guess you were planning to use her to just, you know, everyone else is, you know, easy pickings, everyone like Lancer. Lancer was the only other one left, actually, to be fair. Other than Gilgamesh, who you didn't know about, I suppose. And, you know, you were admitting that Saber was better than Lancer, for sure. Makes sense that you were biding your time to have, Does it make sense, though? Because, okay. Do we have this listed? Ah, we do. Wise up. Sex, yes. Female, 163 centimeters, neutral, evil. At least her thing seems to be correct. Evil, indeed. Do we have a writer yet? No, we still don't, even though we know what she looks like. Territory creation A. Creates an area that is advantageous to oneself as a magus. Enables the creation of a temple superior to a workshop. Lore! Tool creation. Allows the creation of tools that carry magical energy. Even allows for the creation of an immortality serum, but the result is only an imitation. Yeah, we don't have what her name is anything at all, but high-speed divine language A. Allows the activation of magic without connecting the magic circuit or incanting the spells. Even great magic can be activated with just a single action. It is a language from the Age of Gods, so modern humans cannot pronounce it. Oh, shoot. God language. Right, so, we have Berserker here, right? He has, Madness B. Right, that's right, Berserker's big... No, this is weird, because, you know, we have Saber, who's got great magic resistance. Lancer's got some magic resistance. Archer's got some magic resistance. We don't have anything on Rider. No, we don't have anything on Assassin. Berserker has no magic resistance. Wouldn't Castor be one of the biggest weaknesses for, Berserker? Because I remember thinking this, that Berserker's super great, but he has no magical resistance. I guess he just has natural magical energy. I know Berserker's strong, don't get me wrong, but I thought Castor would be one of his biggest weaknesses, because he has no magic resistance. But maybe he's just so good even without that, you know, she's willing to be like, well, he's too good even with no magic resistance, which is fair because he still has high magic energy. Like, if we compare magic energies, though, he's got A magic energy, Archer's got B magic energy, Saber's got B, Lancer's got C. So I guess in that sense, Berserker still has a lot of magic, even if he's got no resistance, but, I shall have her defeat that annoying Berserker. Are you going to be able to give her more magic to let her last longer? Because right now I have an improper connection. I suppose you have a way to fix that and make her stay around longer. Yeah, Berserker's got a lot of... Whoa! Dash. Caster raises her arm. Her fingers are going for my arm. Oh no, I've seen this before. This has to be when, you know, Archer saves us, question mark? Maybe his NP helps with protection from magic. Oh yeah, because whenever he gets taken out, he, you know, comes back. I suppose, I forget exactly his details of that, but I know that he's able to come back several times. So maybe that's why she's scared, because even if she takes him out, couldn't she control him, though, with magic? Have him take out others? Maybe she doesn't have enough magical ways to kill him. But if controlling him is easy, then, I don't know. Maybe there's something more to Berserker that actually does affect the magic beyond just the skill of magic resistance, but... Take my command spell? Is that possible? I mean, Raiden was saying she wanted to take it, right? I think Tosaka said that one needs to pull out the nerves along with the command spell, so you might lose some feeling in your arms. Uh-oh.
そうよ。まずはその皮を剥いで、
Ooh.
それからレイジを私のマスターに移植する。
That's right. I will flay your skin and transplant the command spell to my master, who is alive and you haven't killed? Did you just kill him later in the timeline when you didn't need him anymore, or her around anymore, after getting all the sources, which means they're still alive? Or are you lying to me and not giving away that your master is dead to hide something from me that you didn't think was worth hiding in the other timeline because you'd already fully built up your energy? I don't think you're that much of a strategical... I mean, you're not... It's not that you're not strategical, but I don't think you're not... I don't think you're that tactical to lie and say you're going to give them to your master when you're actually giving them to yourself. You'd probably gloat and be like, I have a way to use them myself. So I think you're honestly giving them to your master, but I think you also honestly killed your master in the other timeline. So I think it's just you wait till the end and kill them when you don't need them anymore. It plays into the whole thinking you're better than everyone, including your master idea. And yeah, at least the evil alignment at least suits you. Imagine trying to control Berserker when Ilya just spams kill caster command spells. Sure, but you're still only supposed to have 3, right? I mean, I won't deny that Ilya is a tough cookie for sure, so the Ilya Berserker combo is definitely strong. I'm definitely not denying that, and there's certainly merit to her taking Saber to make it easier to beat Berserker, but if Berserker's got a weakness to magic, I suppose Ilya makes up for that because she's maybe the strongest in magic of all the masters, debatably. Debatably.
けれどレイジは所有者の魔術回路と一体化しているでしょ?
They're just big! It looks to me like Ilya has 3.
あなたから神経を引き抜くということでもあるわ。
To me, I just assumed that they were big to show off how much energy she has. That's why it shows it like over all her whole body. That's what it's always seemed like to me, is that it shows the command spells going over her whole body because she just has that strong magic that they're that big of command spells that she can do crazy stuff with. I still just assume she has 3, but anyways. If she doesn't, good for her. Maybe because of her connection to the Grail and the fact that she is sort of kind of Grail. Maybe she secretly has like 100. I don't know. I just assumed she had 3 big command spells to show off that, you know, her magic metachlorians are like through the roof. The command spell is one with the owner's magic circuit. So taking out the command spell means I'll be taking out your nerves as well. Caster says so as if it's nothing at all. Who is your master? Did they really die? Later on? Are they alive now? Do we know them? Nani? Pull out my nerves? She'll take all the nerves in my body? If she does that, I'll...
ええ、正常ではいられなくなるでしょうね。けれど安心なさい。命まで取りはしないから。
Yes, you should cease to function normally, but you can be assured that I won't take your life. You'll just be a vegetable. That sounds bad. Sounds similar to what Elia did to us in that one bad ending where, you know, we were just ahead and she preserved us and kept us alive. Maybe there was some Avalon in there, but I think it was also a lot of her magic keeping us alive. Sounds similar, but at least with that one, it's Elia, and we get to have fun playtimes with Elia. This one sounds less pleasant. I desperately put power into my limbs, but they don't even twitch. They don't even twitch! Why? Are they streaming on YouTube? Are they streaming on Facebook? I'm not saying they can't stream on Facebook, but, like, I don't know if anyone but, you know, Toast that streams on Facebook. My limbs won't move, and I'm like a prisoner about to be executed. Oh boy. Okay. Ooh, fancy art. I like it. A bewitching smile. The glowing fingers reach out for my left hand like a crawling spider. And Archer saves me. And I die. Bad ending. Oh, it's an interlude! Because Archer's going to save me? And Ren's going to save me? How long has it taken her to notice something is wrong? Wait, is this a Saber interlude? I thought that it was just going to be Ren interludes. This is Shiro's house. Oh. Saber gets interludes? In Rin's pathway? Oh yeah, there was a bit of a drop for a second there, but we're fine now in terms of frames. Tom's Tom. But, huh? Weird. It's an interlude, but it seems to be a Saber interlude, unless Rin came over to Saber's house. I suppose I should just go a little bit farther and check to be sure. But this says things about things, because Saber's the only one who ever interluded. Does that mean the interludes get cumulative? Like, it's like, oh, just Saber in the first one, then Saber and Ren in this one, and then maybe we get interludes for all of them in the last timeline, in theory, if there's 3 timelines? I just expected they'd all be Ren interludes. I expected they'd all be interludes. Anyways, how long had it taken her to notice that something is wrong? She wakes up to a strange feeling and goes out into the hallway. Okay, that's definitely almost almost assures that this is Saber's interlude, not Rin's. It could have been like, how long had it taken her to notice? She came over to Shiro's house right away, but no.
Shiro.
This definitely seems like a Saber interlude, so we still get these. Okay. I didn't think we were going to. Huh. She first thinks that the feeling might be coming from her master. Is it because the strange feeling is coming from Emi Ashiro's room? Oh, is there like a thingamawigger-digger that's going on that's making things thingamawigger? Because, you know, thingamawigger is scary.
まったく。まだ魔術の鍛錬をしているのですか。
Jeez, is he still chanting magic? Okay. Okay, this seems like a biggie thingy. Is this a biggie thingy? It seems... Okay, so we're going to have an interlude. And then I was thinking we're going to have a Rin interlude. I thought it would be a perfect timing for our Rin interlude so that we could see, like, if Archer's going to save us. I expected Archer was going to save us. I figured it would be the perfect time to get a view of Rin being like, oh, shoot, what if this is happening? To see how... I mean, I guess if they were going to do that, they would have Archer save us and then do the interlude? I mean, not necessarily. But by doing it this way implies that Saber's going to save us? Or is she just not going to get there in time? Are they going to double interlude? Maybe they get to do a Saber and a Rin. Or maybe Rin's not involved. I just assumed Rin would be more involved if it's Rin's timeline now. Very interesting. Let's make a save here. Saber gets interludes? This is the exact opposite of the Fate route. Shiro's at the temple, and Saber wakes up feeling something is wrong. Yeah, I suppose. Although, in that case, Saber wasn't drawn there magically. She went against his wishes like a bitch, you know. In this case, Shiro was drawn magically, so very different case, just saying. It is kind of a fun turnaround, but it'd be better if, you know, Saber wasn't such a bitch. Okay. So, it's earlier than I would normally stop. Normally, I would go to, like, 1. But there is stuff that I'm a little behind on. Like, I never, prepped my, streams. I didn't do many streams last week, but I did a couple. I have to turn those into highlights, which I haven't done yet. And there's a couple other odds and ends I need to do, so I actually am going to stop early today. So we have an interlude. I'm excited to see where this goes, but also I'm a little too excited, and I feel like if I fall through it, I would want to see the conclusion, and then we might go late, and I really have to stop early rather than late if we're going to be, you know. So that's why I would like to stop for now. This has been fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to next time, you know, hopefully see the conclusion of this caster thing. Hopefully it's not really short. If it's really short, I'm going to feel like I should have finished it. But, this feels like a good hanger for me. So, I'm going to hang here. Feels like a good beat. So, I will see you guys next time. Start an outro phrase. And, yeah, I'm excited. Some caster nonsense. And she name dropped her master. Her master is still alive, assumedly. That is interesting. Hiatus combo to small stream. You know, no, it's like, it's not that simple, Wise. It's like, the combo is the fact that, you know, the hiatus threw off my gym jams, so I still have to do some gym jams, so I have to make my stream smaller to make sure I do the gym jams I wasn't doing. And in addition, you know, it's like building back up. We gotta build. We gotta build the foundation. You can't just claim all the territory at once when you're playing Go. Unlike Caster, who gets, you know, who gets ambitious. If you try to claim the whole board at once, you'll just get invaded. And then Gilgamesh will kill you. Go analogies. Anyway, still no outro phrase. See you guys next time. YouTube video. It's over. Goodbye.